Well, we'll see what happens.
Hello there, and welcome back to Solo Saturday, but not really solo, because we're having a bit of a nostalgia trip since last week, and
Aye.
playing Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage. The Rage of Ken. For the Twitch stream, I've just put the title as uh,
List of the nose hair.
oh yes. Boba bo bo boba bo.
Yep. Bo 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 bo. Some of the most bizarre attacks I've ever seen in anything.
Yep. I'm going to play the intro again because the intro goes. It just goes so hard. And I need to test the audio anyway. Okay, so if you could say something so we can see how we sound next to the game.
Wa ta 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 ta.
Yep,
And
that
there's
all sounds good. My hot take when it comes to video games is that 1080p was fine. We didn't need better graphics or higher resolution than this. And it definitely
Yeah,
wasn't worth how much more hard drive space games take up since then.
Yeah, look, at this point, I think we've reached the peak of where, like, for now at least, where video games are going to look as good as they're going to look.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was saying, I don't think we need new consoles. Like, the Switch 2, as in something that can run contemporary games, fair enough, but beyond that, I think we're there. Until we come up with an entirely new thing that games just can't do at the moment. Like, the tech is there.
I was saying to Hawk yesterday during the Final Fantasy stream, like, this isn't like, say, the massive graphical leap from, say, the NES to the SNES, or the Genesis to the PlayStation, or the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2. Like, they were actually massive leaps.
Yeah. And, well, there's a ceiling there, isn't there?
I mean, hell, we're at the point now where I think, it's just my opinion, I think we should be focusing on the preservation of some of the older stuff. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
don't get me
Because,
wrong, I am glad. You have no idea how happy I am that the Onimusha series is getting some love. I mean, Onimusha 2's coming out, and let's face it, your only real exposure has been, like, by your own choice, was 3 originally.
yeah. And then I played 1 when it was re-released.
Yeah, you played 1 after it was made very clear it was out, and also because Guildenstern is fucking Guildenstern.
Okay,
But
so
we
did that mission, but there's a Ray mission immediately after.
I'll teach you to fear my Nanto Suichoken!
Genius Unmasked. And a Mamiya mission.
I will not spare.
Sorry, I had to go get the. I had to go get the post.
Okay, I feel like, is this gonna be another thing?
I think Marmia needs some leveling up, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd say. I mean, did we do her dream mode?
I'm sure we did.
We should go. Maybe we should go check.
We did all of them. I'm sure we did.
I will not spare any of
I
you.
hope to stuffing. You're right. Because everyone else seems pretty good, but she's barely even past level 2.
Yeah, we did them. Oh god, and you're not here to do co-op with me.
Oh, fuck nuggets. Okay, so we've done them. Oh, there's only 3 missions, so...
That will probably
We
be
could
why
do
she didn't
one-
level up that much.
Yeah, we could do a whole thing where we show people, because this will be more combat focused, though, so... We could show
I will
people what
not
Dream
spare
Mode is
any of
actually
you.
like.
Yeah.
Trial by fire brings out the heavy fire-breathing guy.
Yeah. I think
Sorry.
a
will
lot of
not
Mamiya's
spare any of
missions
you.
are the same as Ray missions, though.
Well, her mission is more that she's playing the... Her army is playing the... decoy.
No, I mean in the story. Okay.
I'll teach you to fear my Nanto Suichoken.
I mean, somewhat.
Okay, so Genius Unmasked. Is that the same as the Amiibo mission we just did as Kenshiro? God, I can't remember.
I think it is. 'Cause it's Ray turning up to reveal that...
I'll teach you to fear my
Ah.
Nanto
Yeah, that's
Suichoken.
A Legend Born Anew. That's the one after this one in Kenshiro's timeline. So, yeah, the next mission is a Ken mission. The star that beckons chaos. Yeah, I think, like, we basically just get everyone's story as Ken.
Well, yeah, because,
liar who
well,
defiles
Ray's
the
ends
name
at a certain
of
point, which, you know,
Yoshiki.
sucks, but... Spoilers.
Was at last
But Ken also
unmasked
is more
and
involved
brought
with the
to a
plot, so, like...
violent end.
Well, yeah, he's the protagonist.
Obviously,
But
some,
where
obviously
was the
some parts are
real
cut, like the whole thing with, like... A lot of the
It
stuff
was
with
then
Shu
that
is
Mamiya
cut, which
appeared
sucks.
before the court of
Yeah.
Shu and Ray.
Because, you know, after reading the
She had
manga,
discovered
Shu does a
Toki's
lot
true
more,
whereabouts.
than, you know, they credit.
Cassandra.
Yeah.
Like, this does a very poor job of
I
showing
would love
why...
like a much more
Filled with the
comprehensive
most
retelling
vicious
of this
criminals
story in a
the
game.
land.
Well, again, considering
Once
again,
imprisoned there,
I read the
it was
part with
said
Shu
that
explaining
death was
why
the
his
only
history with
escape.
Ken. In
Yeah.
this game, all you get is
Inside,
like the introduction
surrounded
to
by the
him
echoes
and
of
Shu's
tormented
death.
prisoners,
You don't get the explanation as to why his life
Toki
was
waited.
important to Ken,
helpless.
and
Yeah.
like why, like
Following
the manga
Ray
explains
and
why
Mamiya's
he's
lead,
blind.
Kenshiro prepared to infiltrate the city.
For context, because this game doesn't
Before
explain
them,
it,
the
there was
immovable,
contest between
impenetrable,
Nanto and
immortal legend
Hokuto,
awaited.
where Ken was a child, and he was taken to participate,
Kenshiro,
and he
to
was
come
actually
here,
winning.
You must be brave, certainly.
However, they
also
put him against
proved
Shu,
you are
and Shu was
reckless.
very clearly much stronger than Ken
I
was.
couldn't succeed.
But Shu refused to kill him.
Chapter 6. Into
This
the
angered
darkness.
Thouser, so Shu basically paid the price, or made an offering, which was his eyes.
Yeah, let's
Ah, yes, this guy. Yeah, this is another one that gets cut a little short in this one because, you know, Ken makes some friends in this arc in the manga. The Prison of Cassandra, that was also the name of a kingdom in Infinite Undiscovery,
yeah. I remember that
And it's
game.
been-
That was good.
and has been used for default kingdom names, like ancient kingdom names in some of my old RPs.
Any who stand in my
Yeah,
way
Infinite Undiscovery is one of those things that I bought an
shall
Xbox
feel
to
the
play
fury
again.
of my fists.
Oh yeah, speaking of Xbox, isn't it funny that Nintendo's response to the price is exactly the
Toki
same
is
as
being held in a
Microsoft's
dungeon
that kind of
known as
fucks them?
Cassandra.
If you can't afford a Switch 2, we have an alternative, the Switch. Yeah, I've seen this one before.
Yeah.
You can't afford an Xbox One? Just we've got a
Well,
cheaper
no,
option.
if you want an offline if you want offline play and not always online consoles, we have a system for that. It's called Xbox 360. And they did do the always online console eventually. They just did it more subtly.
It still sucks.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you can have your console offline if you don't mind not being able to play any of your games on it these days.
Fuck online. Well, keep it. Yeah, again, to me, it's another one of those. Well, there's a market demand for it, even though there's no proof of this demand.
Or they say there's no market demand for things that they don't want to do based on nothing. Like how they say, like they constantly say single player is dead because it's not quite as monetizable as multiplayer. Or
Yeah,
like when
or-
Square Enix kept saying turn-based combat, there was no demand for it, and then Bravely Default does really well.
Yeah, I think I sent you a copy of 2.
You did. I haven't played that yet. But I'm gonna get to that. Although I have been thinking, I do like having you in chat, and solo Saturdays have been meandering a bit to find a purpose. So I thought, as we don't want to get to it for the main Tombury Tuesday run, after this I'm probably gonna do Final Fantasy 13 and those ones, so that we've done them and they're part of the run, and you can come for that if you want. And one.
I'll get myself some painkillers and some booze.
That's a real
Sorry,
pain
it's
in the
just
neck.
the problem I
You
have
don't
with it
suppose
is
you
that
could
yes, gameplay
borrow
does get slightly better over time, but the story kind of goes a bit more to shit, and the story wasn't exactly great to begin with.
The story goes all over the place to do not very much. Like, if I remember correctly, I've only ever played it the once.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm out of here.
Well, that's all you need to do to play it. Like, again, I just do not like Lightning as a character. I don't care.
I don't think.
care.
Is it Nomura who inexplicably loves Lightning, or was it someone else?
It was Nomura. He likes her for ridiculous reasons, and yeah.
Look, I don't
great.
think we'll ever love her as much as Nomura does.
Oh yeah, he pretty much loves to the point that, I'm pretty sure he was upset when Duodecim tried to show how fucking incompetent she actually is compared to other characters when, the joke was Laguna makes a better leader than she does. And Kane from Final Fantasy IV had to come over and go, are you still sulking because you're not the leader?
Wait, I didn't need to hunt those people down. I wasn't thinking.
Ollie, don't make this harder on yourself. Oh, too late. They're dead. So yeah, I found out that if you do try and watch you do buy the Drawn Together series on Amazon,
Yeah.
you're getting all the episodes, including the ones that Netflix wouldn't put on.
Ah.
Like, there's an entire episode based around Clara and Spanky doing Dirty Dancing, but instead of them like
Yeah,
Dirty
I've
Dancing,
seen it.
Yeah, shitting on a pizza. It's
Yeah.
also where that whole thing of that we saw in the clip show with Xander and Captain Hero was, where it's like, wait, I thought you had the tickets. Ah, oh Xander, if you ever pull that again, I'll fucking.
Yeah.
And in the end, they're invaded by aliens wearing hats. I still love the Super Nanny one.
Okay, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here because, like, alright, I gotta break that wall, I take it. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I got it.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, now I got it. You gotta push it. It's a classic, environmental puzzle, which is not something that is typically in Warriors games.
We should be able to see it soon. Cassandra, The city of wailing demons.
This is a very atypical example of its genre.
Just who the hell do you think you are?
That's just fun to do.
Oh yeah.
Take them all out! What the? What is
I'd be all the way on board for Ken's Rage 3.
I would, but you know, it's got to do something else.
Maybe not
Yeah, it's
from
gotta-
latter-day Tecmo Koei, honestly. Mind you, depending on
It's
how
like
the next Hyrule Warriors turns out, I may eat those words.
This place
Look,
is
again, I
huge.
don't mind the Hyrule
I'll go
Warriors
do some
games,
reconnaissance.
but there is a reason I've gone back to playing like Samurai Warriors, Empires, and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the create character thing is always going to be a big thing, but
Warden Uyghur's orders are absolute.
I mean, I could play
You shall not pass.
Dynasty Warriors 9 free, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, I've heard it's not very good at all. I have heard that Dynasty Warriors 8 was the last really good one.
Well, 8 Extreme Legends, because generally the way it used to be was that they'd release the game, then do an Extreme Legends version, which is just the regular version but with extra characters and scenarios, and then they do an Empires one, which is more strategy based, where you'd create it encouraged you more to create characters.
Wasn't the Empire's one where you build a homestead and what have you?
Yeah, you basically build. You could work for someone else, build loads of characters, and in 8th one and Samurai Warriors, and in later games as well, you could have actually marry other subordinates and have kids with them, and those kids would become actual characters.
Open the gates. After today, no more innocents will be held within these walls.
But effectively, your create characters were always just reskin. Basically, just the moveset would be of characters that were already in the game.
The only way to get further inside is through that gate. It's okay. You did your best. Turn back now before it's too late.
That sounds like a challenge.
Which William
Can you
answered.
hear them? The cries for wicked, repenting for their
The
sin.
harbinger of gout.
Uh,
This place is dead.
None can ever escape.
The punishment
These
for
people are being
defying
imprisoned,
Warden
though, for
Uyghur
what
is death.
crimes? No. Debatable. I am Ken, breaker of chains.
so this game basically goes up to volume 10 of the manga. And I didn't read volume 11 for the longest time because I thought I had it and I thought, well, I mean that's where the story gets the good ending anyway.
Could you please help the rest of the villagers
But then
too?
there was a new chapter in the manga, or new when the hardback came out that, well, it was published a good while after the rest of the series at any rate. That is basically how Kenshiro got his groove back, and like where he'd been all that time.
Should be in the farthest cell.
Essentially, Yuria had eventually died, and Ken had become kind of despondent, and he was spending his days just working on a statue of Yuria.
I'll tell you a secret. There used to be a path through
Now
here.
he'd heard that like
Only there
people
was
were
some way of
being.
destroying this rubble.
There is. Stand back.
Hold on. He'd heard that people were in trouble, but it's like I don't really have it anymore. And then someone else, I can't remember the name, takes Kokuo and basically gets themselves killed, and Kokuo gets riddled with arrows and comes back, and that sort of gives Ken a bit of a kick in the ass, and he comes back to fight things. It's a good chapter.
Yeah. I mean, again, it does become ridiculous that it gets to the point where, oh, we're going to this foreign land to, like, rescue Rin because she's been kidnapped by the guy who I've just, like, ended the reign of shitty little son. And, oh no, they've been captured by the characters who just conveniently happen to have prior relations with the villains from the previous series.
Yeah.
Like Ken's older brother and Rao's older brother. Who, in Ken's Rage 2, funnily enough, there is a thing that's similar to Dream Mode.
Right.
Where they do actually have the characters from the later arc
You seriously
earlier
think you
on
can stop
did
us?
come over. Like, you got explained that apparently they did come for Thouser. But Thouser couldn't defeat, you know, Ryoken. Well, Kyle, or anyone else, and of course their Hokuto Ryuken couldn't do anything to him. So there's a lot of the repeating there. Because the whole big thing in the next one is that Rao's like some kind of prophesized savior that's come to save them from Kyle.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Ken accidentally kind of causes this to get worse because he kills Han with the Heaven's Command charge, which was one of Rao's techniques.
Oh, I've nothing. I was at. Sorry, go on.
There's also that really fucked up part in the manga that tries to explain why Kaio was different to Rao, is that Rao kind of still had his humanity. So at one point when they're kids, it shows Rao and Kaio, like, they have a dog. And Kaio wants to rid himself of emotion, so he basically throws the dog into, like, the sea.
Right.
And obviously he tries to stop Rao from saving it, so that he can feel the pain. And his whole thing is every time he feels pain, he gives himself a scar. Like, to remind himself not to feel emotional pain. He's also able to overpower the whole unconscious transmigration of souls thing just by his aura. Oh, and his whole thing is that he wants to have a kid with a much older Rin now, because like something about purifying his failed bloodline or something, because
Ew.
it's a whole thing that
You're going
apparently
nowhere.
Kenshiro's bloodline is meant to be the true possessors of Hokuto Shinken, or the Hokuto line in general. However, then it's revealed that, Ken revealed that actually that was a lie. His bloodline was never the one. They just, it was actually Rao's bloodline, Kaio's bloodline. It doesn't matter. It all gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then it ends with a whole. He does this technique on Rin where she goes into a whole unconscious thing, and if she wakes up, when she wakes up, she'll fall in love with the first person she sees. So Ken's brother, who's now got his memories back, tries to, save her and whatnot. And when she wakes up, she falls for Ken. Rin goes on a whole thing. Well, Bat goes on a whole thing where he tries to. There's some enemy I don't think is ever in the manga, but it's implied they were someone that Ken dealt with in their early days. Bat tries to kill him, he fails, and asks Mamiya to kill him. Ken turns up and saves him. It all ends well for everyone anyway, because of course it must. Again, the games were not a very good way of telling the story.
Yeah.
Again, this is the entire point of Shu. Go completely. It kind of make even Thousands thing feels a bit underwhelming.
Yeah. I would. I think a good retelling of the story in the medium of games is possible, but no one's quite managed.
I mean, hell, the one thing I love from this game, the one dream mode I love from this one is Toki's one.
Really?
Or Raoul's one, but it's where Raoul finds out from someone who it's always implied to be Yuria.
Yeah.
Basically showing him an alternative future where he could actually save Toki's life. There was a particular pressure point he could touch.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And it causes Toki to end up looking like Jesus.
Yeah.
Hell, Ken's one is literally Raoul kind of putting him into a position where he makes him less stingy about the whole being the heir to Hokuto Shinken, so he can forge his own destiny. I mean, hell, even Jaki gets a future where it's better for him.
This is it, you scum.
But again, he thinks it's a good future, but in order to get that future, he has to avoid fighting Kenshiro now. And then just as he's about to leave, he's then revealed, oh yeah, Kenshiro's here. Fuck.
Oh.
You see these scars.
You know who I am?
Ah yes, yeah, Dream Mode's very good between the armies of Hokuto and the armies of Nanto.
You know who I am? I don't care if you're some shoot fighter.
You think I'll
It's
just let you
If you're
through to Toki?
karate.
Think again.
I have to send that to you at one point just because the context, if nothing else, you've heard it from me, but you've never seen the context or seen where it's from. WCW jobber Al Green, who for some reason is wearing a mask and is dressed like Taz, and exists for the sole purpose of getting choked out by Dan Severn. Because apparently nobody at all in wrestling, no one else walked around with a grey shirt that was covered in sweat. 7 stars of death.
Yeah, I thought I'd better equip that because of those walls. Oh, pile driver.
Hey, the pile driver works. It's a deadly technique. Just ask my wife.
Teach the enemy the meaning of fear.
Nothing stops the door-to-door salesman like a pile driver.
Yeah.
Teach your enemy the meaning of fear. Fear is an innate response to stimuli of various kinds. It can vary depending on the person. No, not literally. Oh shit, Vectra smells bubble wrap. No, the cats love bubble wrap. Garrus, on the other hand, just likes stupid stuff like licking bags. he's a weirdo.
No way! This can't! Hokuto! Yokuretsu-ken! Shinken is as impressive as they say, but the legend of Cassandra will not be broken. Hokuto! Yokuretsu-ken!
The Legend of Cassandra. Never played it. Sounds like an offshoot.
Right, gotcha.
Sentai Senretsu Sho!
You're already dead.
No. They mustn't. Those two mustn't be allowed to meet.
That'll teach you to be dead.
Hokuto! Goretsu-ha!
Ah.
These fists have
Again,
seen
this was
more
more
than you can
impressive in the
imagine.
manga.
Yeah.
When he tried to elbow him into an Iron Maiden.
They could have rendered the cutscene.
Again, I don't think that they were aware of anyone being, actually giving a shit about this, and Koei started, stopped giving a shit after a certain point. I mean, I get it. It must be tiring to make the same. When you really look at the Dynasty Warriors or the Samurai Warriors games, you're just retelling the same story over and over again, but
Yeah.
adding new
Toki
points in
was
certain
alive.
bits.
When the atomic blast scorched the heavens, he had shielded
Reunited in
Kenshiro and the
blood.
others from the deadly ashes.
Okay, this happens a bit
Though
before
his body
Toki's
had
one.
weakened, his fists had lost none
Oh.
of their strength.
Do
Softly.
I go back?
Rao,
No.
our enemy has the strength of a god.
And with the war
At this
bringing
point,
chaos to
Ken
the
does
earth,
all of them.
this
There's
age
only minor
belongs to
differences
him.
between a few of them, like
Chapter
the one
7,
where Rao turns up.
reunited.
All that's
in
different
blood.
is that Ray fights him first. Then Ken comes in and does it.
I'll say it again.
You are already
Hokuto Shinken is
deceased.
invincible.
Any who will not swear loyalty to Lord Kenno will be killed. Want a piece of me?
Run for your lives!
And of course, this is where like the main, like, the lead up to the climax starts.
But could you please help the rest of the villagers
Well, yeah,
too?
because Rao is the thing he's got to climb, because the whole thing with the first half is that there's only meant to be one person who has it's one of those. Oh, there can only be one master of Hokuto Shinken, and there's like 4 people running around with that title.
Yeah.
three of which have some degree of a legit claim to it.
Yeah.
And one just being an asshole.
Well, Ken was named as the successor. But Rao
Well, yeah, Ken
didn't want to accept that and give up his claim or his fist. Toki just wanted to use it to heal people, and Jagi is just being a dick. I think something's gone a bit wrong here. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Also, I rediscovered that Dead Wrestler Beach video.
Oh, yeah.
So many names that could be added to that one.
Yeah. I mean, less as time goes on, fortunately, because a lot of the factors that resulted in early wrestler death aren't really a thing anymore. Like, steroids are much less a part of the business than they were.
And I'm noticing a lot of pushback from people who were part of it when steroids were normal. Like, Billy Graham was always someone who was very for steroids in a weird way. Hogan was for them. Kevin Nash seems to be okay with them because his entire philosophy seems to be, well, you know, I don't like these small people. I don't believe them. Like, according to him, apparently Eddie Guerrero and Benoit were bigger than the referee, were smaller than the referees. And I'm like, that's bullshit, for one thing.
We can fucking see them.
Yeah, his entire thing is the wrestling business died as soon as they won because small people, you know, is that CM Punk said on the thing, like, he called Eddie Guerrero a vanilla midget.
Fuck it.
And again, he did. I don't want to again throw fuel on the fire, but he does these things usually to people who he knows are not going to fight back or are dead. He knows are dead. Like, he waited until Guerrero and Benoit had passed away before he started slagging them off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree with his Logan Paul stuff, but again, I think he's just going for relevancy at this point. It's very much oh no, don't get pay attention.
You wonder why? He's got no skin in the game anymore. He retired years ago.
Yeah, he's been retired for a long time. He was last relevant in a CM Punk feud that he barely, you know, he didn't really actually do much in, apart from being an annoyance. I mean, I have my own gripes with the Summer of Punk, mainly that Punk seemed to get pushed down the card.
Yeah.
For the sake of Triple H and everybody else,
Yeah.
which took away a lot of his luster.
Well, yeah, the problems with the Summer of Punk are well documented.
So yeah, I was going through Amazon and found that Bloodsport was on there and they're still treating it as if it was a true story. It's not. It's been proven it's not. And the creators of the movie even had to apologise for presenting it as a true story. Don't know if you're familiar with the story of Frank Dukes.
Not really.
Basically, he's a guy who claims to have fought in a Kumite tournament.
Right.
Basically, a death tournament where he's like this military Green Beret guy who was handpicked by, who was recruited by the government in secret in a public bathroom. And like, this was back in the days. You know how nowadays
Yeah.
the scam that worked in the 70s and 80s, where you'd find like people who said they had, you know, they knew a deadly martial art and things, and all you needed to do was make a hand like a claw, and it would somehow fool someone.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore now that you can fact check people.
Kill him by any means necessary.
Frank came from before the internet, and he actually made it on television as like a secret agent. Like, he actually convinced people he was a secret agent, and that he'd, you know, been on all these things, and he'd got all these stories and things. And then as time went on, they wrote his autobiography, they made a movie based on his life, and then it turned out that none of these things were true, which was made even funnier when someone literally asked the question on a talk show, if you're a secret agent and you had all these government secrets, why are you going on television and telling people? She made a valid point.
Yeah.
And as time went on, he got jumped. At one point, he got jumped by a UFC fighter,
Push him into the swamp.
and got
Let
beaten
the
up.
poison do its work.
And he couldn't use any of it because apparently he was called the King of the Ninjas.
Only you will suffer the poison's curse.
He also kept claiming he'd learned certain kinds of ninjutsu, but when you actually look at the Japanese word that he's using, it's actually tree worship.
Bad luck. The only switch controlling the bridge.
Like, it's
is
not
on this
actually
side.
martial arts. So yeah, there's been no. And when they actually did his military background, they found he'd, you know, done basic training, but the most action he'd seen was falling off the top of a jeep.
Luckily, there's a massive container of oversized spears.
I sure hope he doesn't use those
Oh,
spears.
shit. I'm out of here.
That would be very inconvenient for us. Joe, why are you telling him this? What?
Huh.
Yeah, giving him advice on how to kill us, you tit. Oh, bloody hell, he's only gone and knocked the bridge down there. Oh, I wonder how he knew to do that. Or maybe someone told him.
Where do you think you're going?
And how is this my fault? How is it not your fault? Yeah, I don't know why I keep adding accents to things.
Yeah, why not?
I was doing it last night, and I don't know why I keep doing it.
Right, let's get them all in one place.
Jesus.
Oh, right.
We wish to fight back. Now is our chance.
So yeah, sorry, I had to go get the. What am I trying to call this game?
Nice.
Warpath. The guy with a speech impediment where he has to say boom and bang at the end of things because he turns into a tank.
Yeah.
It's specifically so I can so for one joke I did it at one point with Hawk, where the idea was going to be Optimus Prime giving his plan and then have like an older toy of Prime that's like you call that a plan? In my day we would have marched into Megatron's base. We would have asked for a job and we would have got it, by God. And as he's going on, having a what a boomer!
Yeah.
I know, the joke is terrible, but it's Warpath, and quite frankly, it's better than the Power Glide thing. I really do wish you were there when me and Hawk were watching Season 2, just to watch watching the live chat on YouTube going, well, when things hit a bit too close to home.
Ah.
It's that we were watching the episode where the Decepticons tried to create fake news, basically.
Oh.
By this point, the world knows that they're evil. And they kidnap this guy who's like owns his own business and has his own name on the building, by the way.
Yeah.
He's kidnapped, and Megatron tries to convince him. Oh, you've been taught wrong, that we are somehow evil and that they are good, and they make some fake videos of them fighting the Autobots, but the Autobots are using brainwashing stuff and everything.
Yeah.
They like convince people that they're good, and then they get them deported to the sun.
Oh no.
Yeah, they have them loaded on a rock, have a trial where they convince everybody the Autobots are bad, load them onto a rocket to send them back to Cybertron, but then instead send them to the sun. During this time, Megatron then reveals his true plan, which was to enslave humanity, specifically sending resources to go after Chip, the guy in the wheelchair. And there were people in the chat going, oh my god, this hits way too close to home now, because this was right after the election.
Ah.
And me and Hawk are pissing ourselves laughing, going, oh god, is Sean Berger Trump? Oh, this was like 1984, or like 85. So they were ahead of the time.
Well, either that or things have remained quite depressing.
Well, again, deporting them to the sun was certainly
Yeah.
a new one.
Fuck them all to death.
Oh, God, yeah. That whole thing. Ah. Precious gasoline. Now, with glass bottles now. Not Davy Jones, that is Amidala in a hat.
Carve the enemy apart!
Oh god, that's another one I remember. Oroilo, the god of madness. Hello? Nose. Like the guy who's so insane he can't see things normally, so whenever he sees a giant monster, he thinks it's a giant monster with B. Arthur's head. No idea why he sees monstrous, calamitous beings as members of the Golden Girls, but whatever. And negotiating with the hallucinations is never a good idea. It turns out the talking pineapples you see are racist. And their demands are quite unreasonable. Oh no, Ken's shirt's coming off by anime logic, that must mean he's getting stronger. Oh yeah, Cyanide and Happiness lately have been doing this series that's a Legend of Zelda parody thing where Link is this muscle-bound psychopath called Lonk.
I will die before I stand aside.
Like when he crosses a bridge, all he does is he reaches over and grabs the other part of the cliff and just pulls them together and stuff. Or at one point they steal his cereal and went, "What have you done, you idiots? What? What did I do? We've been putting horse tranquilizers and things in his food for years. That's what keeps his strength in check. You've doomed us all."
Swing the momentum.
You're the mighty Kenshiro. I could rip your limbs off with my little finger.
It's been good seeing, Fist of the North Star again, but we do need a better anime adaptation.
Yeah.
Like, I have seen scenes where they've done, because obviously they've updated the models of the characters for this, because obviously you can get the original costumes. but I have seen scenes where they've done parts of the series with the characters' updated updated visuals, and I think they should do that.
Yeah.
Also, the soundtrack to this game.
Yeah, it's
Chills.
Good stuff.
No.
I mean, I do have the original anime on DVD, but only up to a point.
I think it's on Crunchyroll in some territory or another.
I will have to give that a look, because at the moment my Crunchyroll is on the Switch, and Liz is mainly using that to watch. Well, we watch a few good things actually, some of which I think you'd like. I still like the isekai where the guy is a writer and is just depressed.
Yeah.
No, he's brilliant because he just wants to die. That's all he wants, is just to die, and they keep trying to stop him. But the thing is that every time something is about to kill him, there's always something that helps him in some way. Like when he's being eaten by something or bitten by something, he's smoked so much that it's poisoned his blood.
Don't give up. We're with you.
So anything that feeds on the blood of humans, drinks his blood, and then just dies from poison. Or at one point, like, there's a whole thing where, like, someone takes over a village, and they're all like, "You people will be sacrificed to our leader and eaten by him." And he literally turns up and goes, "Hello there, excuse me, don't mind me, It's about your whole thing about being eaten alive. I'm curious about that. So I'd like to offer myself, if that would be okay." And they just look at each other like, they're not supposed to actually offer themselves. I thought they were supposed to resist. Yeah, I don't get any of this.
Yeah. What are we supposed... I mean, is there a protocol for this?
Yeah, that is literally what it is. They don't know what to do because he's literally looking up at these giant ogres and going, "Excuse me, sir, I'd like to know what your method is. I mean, are you going to boil me alive, put me on a spit, and then put me over a fire? I'm curious of the methods of which your leader would partake in eating me." But they just don't know what to do because they're like expecting the whole, "No, please don't eat us. We'll do anything." What do we do? He actually wants to be eaten, and he's asking questions. I don't know. Should we go talk to the boss? I think so. I'm not sure how to deal with any of this. Yeah, I don't think there's protocol. Just standard procedure. Who's your favourite Fist of the North Star character then? Aside from Ken.
Aside from Ken? I like Toki.
Yeah, I like Toki as well. But my favourite is Raoul because he's not... Okay, from the beginning it's made clear how fucking strong he is. Yeah. But they made him more complex as time went on. Like, he didn't beat Fudo and he knows it.
Yeah.
He didn't beat Fudo because the idea was that if he wanted to prove he was no longer afraid of the guy.
Yeah.
And he even gave the order, like, "If I step outside of this thing, you are to kill me." And he did step out of it because he did feel fear for him.
Yeah.
And they still kind of like...
Oh, there's a bit in the manga that's, like, I thought you'd love. I don't know if you've read it yet, but he happens upon a village of pacifists. And they won't fight back, and they just keep smiling, and he's holding up a child going, "Do something to save yourself." And but he doesn't kill him. Like,
well, that's the thing,
because by not fighting him, they've taken the fun out of it.
Well, it's not just that. He does have a warrior's code, because keep in mind, he can't bring himself to... He won't fight Toki. until Toki is an actual threat to him. He won't even fight Ken until he considers Ken worthy of his attention.
Yeah.
Like, think of it like this. You know for a fact, if Rao considered Jagi a problem, he would have dealt with him already.
Yeah.
Before anyone else before Ken even got to him, Rao could have just got rid of him, because out of all of them, Jagi was the weakest. He knew enough Hokuto Shinken, but he was nowhere near the level of Toki.
Even if my bones are
Well, he didn't have the skill of Toki, and he did not have the strength of Rao. And none of that, if that shit didn't work on Ken, like the tricks he used to try and beat Ken didn't work, they weren't going to work on Rao.
The gods have already given you.
In fact, they'd work even less on Rao, like his throat needles and shit.
Now, we should have done this as Ray first, but I don't really want to do the same mission twice.
No, it is the same thing. It is the same thing, though, to get to the same conclusion.
Yeah. And, like...
Haha! Your martial arts will be beaten by a cloak.
You've arrived, Kenshin. I can hardly believe one so soft-hearted has made it this
Boxer
far.
King.
But all those weak enough to be swayed by their emotions are ultimately destined for the same fate.
Again, that's another thing that makes Ken's Rage 2 kind of shit. They have to throw in the shit from the first part because while they do have their own characters, they kind of need to bring the old ones back in.
So, you're here already.
Kenshiro, you must not throw your life away.
I will fight, even if I have a 99% chance of failure.
No. As you are now, you have no chance of defeating him.
That's the thing, even because, you know, Rao has a whole code of honor.
Speaks the truth.
Yeah.
But now that Toki
I mean, think about it again, like, if he thought Ken was too much, because he does, in some way, he wants Ken to become stronger in his own way.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he doesn't interfere in the whole thing with Thouser. Like, all he and Toki were there to do was to make sure that Thouser's men didn't interfere.
My fists.
That was it, because, you know, Thouser's soldiers aren't going to be able to get past them.
They will prove vital to your cause.
Especially with two of them, because the manga makes it clear that one of them is a problem. Two of them there is more than the army can deal with.
The vital point.
And I do love that even Rao's like, when it's like, well, once I've killed Ken, I'll come down and kill you, Rao and Toki. Even though, and he's just like, don't be so sure of it. Toki knows the secret of your body. Ah, Toki. Albino Jesus.
He got out of he got his radiation sickness because he got out of the bomb shelter so Ken and Yuria could get in.
The door wasn't shut properly. So I think Ken was going to go out and do it, but then Toki went out and did it instead. And then by the time they could open the shelter, they found him under a pile of ash. So I think he'd been able to protect himself a bit, but again, it's radiation.
Toki, free me. Come on, let me move.
Because another thing that with this as well is that Toki is very much on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And Rao knows that. It makes the fight between him and Toki even sadder.
Yeah.
It is not illness
that, Rao eventually figures out what he did. He pressed a pressure point to push his body to the limits, but only for that one fight. Jesus, Ken. Jesus, Rao. Star of death.
My life has come to its end. May my death help you in your quest to become the true successor.
Toki's life is mine! Huh?
What part of martial arts magic do you not understand? He touched me, I can't move.
This was an unexpected development.
You broke Togi's hold on you? Raoh, look above you and you'll see it. The Star of Death.
He's standing, golly. Look at the fucking forehead vein. The forehead.
Yeah.
Wow. He looks like he's bladed one too many times. Damn.
Oh, I missed. Huh. You know what? Screw it.
You're already dead. This place shall bear witness to the end of the 1800-year history of Hokuto Shinken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, again, this is another reason I like playing as Raoh. He's pretty damn powerful. You know, Ollie, maybe that unconscious transligation of souls.
Oh, I haven't got the spirit to use it. Ah!
Yeah.
Although this is a pretty epic fight. Oh!
You are already dead. Failure is unthinkable.
Fist of penitence. But I'm not sorry.
That was a pretty dramatic fight.
I could have beaten you.
It was. Again, imagine how bad it would have been if you'd actually gotten all 7 stars.
Yeah. Oh, I think I would have got my ass kicked.
Surely even you don't wish us all to perish here.
I am destined to rule this world. Until then, I cannot die.
Apparently there is a Ray mission. Okay, I think next is the end of Ray's story.
Teach you to fear
So-
my Nanto Suichoken.
So,
Oh God, Ray.
so we'll do it properly.
The Star of Death now foretold the end of
Well,
Ray's
we'd also
life.
be reaching the end of Mamiya's story technically as well.
Yeah.
His vital point struck by
poor
Raoul
Ray.
during battle. He had but 3 agonizing days to live as his body was slowly destroyed from inside. But he was determined to use his remaining time well. To do what he could for the woman he loved, for Mamiya. Mamiya had long been cursed by an engraving on her back, marking her as a slave of Yuda, one of the 6 Nanto masters. Long ago, he had killed Mamiya's parents and doomed her to a life of hardship. Ray struggled forth, every step bringing blinding pain. He would free Mamiya from her curse. He would soothe the wounds that cut deep into her heart. He would bring her happiness at last. Such was the final hope of a dying man.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this.
No, I'm grateful to you. All I wish to do now is choose how I die.
Chapter 6. In Search of Justice.
Oh great, so we're basically doing a Make-A-Wish for Ray.
Yeah. Take a Wish Foundation.
No man can keep up with me.
Yuda is the one who forced Mamiya into this life of sorrow. Ray, is that where you're going? To defeat Yuda?
I don't have long to live. I am not naive enough to hope for love, but I do wish to find a place in that woman's heart.
No man can keep up with me.
Now we'll have some fun!
Hey, at least he's not going with the whole "let me breed you" kind of mindset of, well, I'm gonna die.
Oh god, what if he exploded when he came?
Careful. Your body can't take much more punishment. A single blow might be the end for you.
Mommy, where's Daddy? Well, I can't exactly get well, he's over there. What? Yeah, I can't exactly. I haven't been able to get him out of the curtains.
I'm not ready to... Take them all out! This is as far as you go.
Quickly eliminates the enemy units.
I'll take you on! I'm not ready to... Nanto! Shekimoha!
Here I am.
Da-da.
Touch me like a hurricane.
Let's go. We have no time.
Ah, fun guy.
I do like Ray as well.
Oh yeah. Look, Fist of the North Star has some good characters.
Well, reading the manga, I did come to like Fudo a lot.
Fudo is another one of those characters that doesn't get a lot of, justice in the games.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't get a ton of page time either. So, like,
again, because his character is pretty simple, really.
Yeah.
Because again, he was a bandit, and he became better after meeting Yuria.
Yeah.
And then became a guardian. There's not much more to him other than he's a gentle giant now.
And one that could go toe-to-toe with Rao.
Well, yeah, he was able to terrify even Keno.
Ran in there. Let's go.
Which shouldn't be possible.
Well, yeah, even Ken knew that. Even Rao knew that. But he couldn't go off and get that if he was still afraid of Fudo. And the sad thing is, he still couldn't, he still couldn't actually overcome his fear.
Yeah. How many volumes have you got of the manga, by the way? Have you been collecting the hardbacks like what I have?
Oh, yeah, I've been collecting the ones like what you've been sending. I'll have to let you know which ones I've got. Because they're all up on a shelf right now.
Yeah, I got up to 12. I don't see how it takes them so long to come out. I am probably an issue or two behind anyway, but... Like, the manga is from the 80s.
I think the thing you've got to remember as well is that they're going to have scans from a certain time, and it's making sure it's resizing those scans without doing the damage through pixelation, but also quality.
Yeah, and I suppose preserving the original.
It's not an easy. Yeah, it's not as easy as you might think. I mean, again, one of the reasons Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z struggled to get a very good rendition of the original quality is because the original stuff was not backed up very well.
Preservation is important, damn it!
Well, in their defense at the time, home video was not a thing, was not a common thing that existed.
Yeah, I suppose they couldn't have predicted it.
They never knew. This is again, I've learned this through watching things about the UK's like video club thing, that the idea of owning like movies at one point could cost you about 80 quid.
Yeah.
Because it was a new thing, and it sounds like too good to be true. Back then, it was like, wait, I could get a copy of like this movie I watched in the 70s that was on TV once, and I won't have to wait for it to come on.
And you can have it at home and play it whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's a convenience that, my generation, our generation doesn't appreciate as much, because like we have entire stores where we can get these things for like 99p.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some news like kids today won't know the struggle of getting a snack and getting back before the ad break ends, to which someone responds, couldn't you just pause it?
Oh my god, no! That was the point, you couldn't pause live TV, because for a long time, there was only a few channels.
I remember when Sky Plus was like the height of convenience for these things, before Netflix. And it's like, I had that in my room, and I recorded and never deleted things like all 4 seasons of Mitchell and Webb, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, even the concepts that people of my parents' generation, when they were kids, couldn't even conceive of.
Of course, I probably wouldn't want Sky Plus in my room now if I could afford it, because who watches live TV anymore?
Ollie, I'm gonna have to go for a minute. The Paul's getting sad with a fight for his.
Ah, alright, yeah. Don't worry, dude, I'll be here. Okay, he's down. I forget that I even have special moves. Okay, so we're gonna open that gate. Is Kenneth still angry? He is. Yes. Hey, sir. How you doing? He's just livid. Okay. The map is pointing me there. So I cannot go there. Nope. Ah, climbable surface. That'll be it. Did you just destroy that barrel with your bat, man? If you can think of an easier way to get a baguette, I'd love to hear it. Oh! Didn't know you could do that. What the point was, I have no idea. Oh. I see. Okay, now I'm on the other side.
Let's go.
Did this Naruto running precede Naruto? Yes. This manga was written in started in 1983.
I'm back.
Did this Naruto running precede Naruto? Seb, this Naruto running preceded Dragon Ball.
You said being an idiot.
No, he asked a question. Is all.
Okay. Is Kenneth still angry? He's just livid. I don't destroy that barrel with your bare hand. Get me.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of this shit preceded Naruto.
Yeah. It might have been something introduced for the game. It might have been. To be fair, there had actually been a Fist of the North Star video game, but this character probably wasn't playable.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but usually they're Japanese exclusive. So.
Nothing better than a baguette fresh out of the oil trough.
Hey! What do you punks think you're doing here?
Take them all out!
You
monsters! What is the color of your blood?
That guy sounded like Deadster Jester. He did. He did.
Bad luck. The rest of you is far away by now.
Yeah, it's fine. Just
Stop 'em in the
kids
time
being
you have
kids.
left.
Just being told no, you're not supposed to do that, and then trying to say, I'm sorry. Like, well, if you're sorry, you wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
After you've been told to. And so then she just threw a tantrum and said, I'm going to my room forever. Like, okay. She'll come out when she wants food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is what you do. Like, when they have a tantrum, you can't just bow down to their demands.
Yeah. So I went to the cinema in Tim Hortons yesterday. Everyone was really busy because of the Minecraft kid. Great Minecraftsman they'll grow up to be.
Oh, is this the whole chicken jockey thing that's been in the media?
What?
Oh, people, basically, when a scene came up, a bunch of people were in a cinema.
Oh, is that the one where everyone fucking threw popcorn everywhere?
I saw one where someone literally was on top of someone dressed as a chicken, and they brought an actual live chicken to the cinema and let it loose while screaming, "Chicken jockey!"
Yeah, call me an old miser, but unless it's a specific screening, I like the audience to be quiet. Oh god, that actually reminds me. I saw a Simpsons meme that was, you know the bit where Mo goes, the little cutie wants to say something cute. Shut up, you bum, shut up. It was basically complaining that UK fans were too loud and chanted too much over the talking. And it's like, are we going to take that from the country that cheers in the cinema?
Look, American cinemas are some of the most difficult ones to be in, from what I've been told, because there are like entire groups of people that cannot sit through a movie without talking through it.
I mean, at least at a wrestling show, you're supposed to be loud.
Oh yeah, you're expected to, unless you're in Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't go into a movie theatre and then, like, yeah, we had this talk about The Rock saying that, well, you pay for your ticket, you should be able to sing it. Like, yeah, if it's one of those special sing-along ones, not when people are actually going to see the fucking movie.
Yeah, that was for... Yeah, there are screenings that allow for that.
The star of death grew brighter with every passing moment. Rebuffed by Yuda's
yeah, if you paid for your
power,
ticket, you should be able to watch the fucking movie in peace.
In physical and mental
I came to watch the thing. I don't want to have to wait for a couple of months for it to come out on DVD just so I can hear what the characters are saying. I mean, when I went to go see the Pirates of the Caribbean when I was younger, there was an entire group of Neds that were in there that wouldn't shut the fuck up throughout the entire movie.
To give his life
Yeah.
for another.
So yeah, I'm all for having special screenings for that kind of thing. Yeah, Wicked had sing-along screenings specifically for that.
Well, I think it should be completely valid that if people keep talking in the cinema, you should be able to pick up a big old club and twat them in the head.
He had no way of
Just beat them to death until they're a puddle of, piss and whatever else is left, so everyone else can enjoy the goddamn film they paid for.
When I went to see Shrek 3, there was a loud guy who was laughing at the unfunny jokes very loudly and explaining them. It was like the Family Guy going, "Oh, it is funny because I can't remember a single joke in that movie."
His final chance, victory.
It was exactly that.
I tend to go.
Bathed in your blood.
I tend to go when we used to go to the cinema with Liz, I'd go during a holiday or during a day when the kids would all be in school, or it was a late night screening, so that I didn't have to deal with loud people.
Yeah. And we're coming into Ray's final chapter. Oh, to explain, he's been hit by a pressure point attack, which will kill him in 3 days.
Also, Yuda is like a crazed guy who kind of admired Rey and hates him because he himself found Rey's techniques beautiful.
And it made him jealous.
He also worked for Keno, but now Keno's injured and taking a break for a bit. He's now out in the open. And what makes it worse is that Yuda kind of kept Mamiya as some kind of sex slave or something.
There is
I mean, I don't like. He kept her as a slave. I don't know whether sex happened.
He did enough to her to destroy her make her hate her own femininity.
The pain you feel.
Yeah, in that.
Usually the implications that make that up.
Yeah. It did probably happen.
And it might not necessarily mean sex in general, but it could have been sexual in nature, like.
Yeah. Now, what I mean is, it doesn't explicitly say that, but it's implied that might be the case.
It is death.
Yeah, there's a lot, because usually characters in media hate their femininity when the parts of them that make them female have been exploited in some way, and often...
Seb says Toki looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Morpheus, be like.
Please, Toki.
Yeah, his body is slowly ripping itself apart from the inside, and he just wants to kill this guy that enslaved his love interest before he goes.
Before I begin.
Yeah, I need to take the pill.
Yeah.
Like the pill will just let him die peacefully.
Yeah. But Toki, the white-haired guy, is going to press a pressure point that will give him more time, but it's really going to suck.
Just one vital point is
it's going to hurt pretty damn bad.
But if he takes the other one, he'll go to Wonderland and see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Booty.
That voice actor is earning his paycheck with this scene. The screams.
I don't think a lot of acting was involved. A lot of electroshock therapy and the cactus dildo surprise.
The dildo of fate rarely comes lubed.
We don't recycle in here, so we don't use condoms. We do it raw.
And the pain has turned his hair white.
And that's how albinos were born.
It's Mamiya! She's been captured by Yuda!
I am still flabbergasted by that. CGI Jason somehow is a huge cast. I know!
Is he Christ?
A dying man like you.
I'm sorry, that little glow is a bit much.
It's like if the Avengers signed on to do a Veggie Fables movie. No, Veggie... What was it called? I think Veggie Fables was the drawn together version.
Fruity Fables.
Yeah. God is watching everything you do.
When you get undressed and take a shower, you touch yourself for hour after hour. God is watching everything you do.
Tenchi, Onryushu.
I'm sorry for being phallic. Ah! I'm sorry for having Moroccan children as slaves. I said I'm sorry, not that I'd give it up.
Yeah, I said I'm sorry. I didn't say I'd stop.
Oh, Sarah. Or that guy who, like, when they're using the clone babies to cure people, and all the guy who clearly has like damaged legs does is use their lives to stop the squeaking in his equipment, rather than cure his actual crippled legs.
Let Mamiya go.
then you and I will settle this.
Ah, yes. Listen carefully. This woman here has already seen the Star of Death. How does it feel to know that all your plans have failed?
Mamiya, your life has been so hard, so unhappy. You deserve to have at least one man give his life for you.
Then die! Like the fool you are! I've been waiting a long time to tear you to pieces, Ray.
That did a fair amount of damage.
Oh.
Tenshi, Bunryushu.
So basically, nearly, it's called The King of Kings. It has Pierce Brosnan, Oscar Isaac, Kenneth Branagh, Forrest Whitaker, Uma Thurman, Mark Hamill, Ben Kingsley, Jim Cummings, D. Bradley Baker, and James Arnold Taylor. So basically, nearly everyone from Star Wars.
I am the Star of Enchantment. Do you really think
Hey Hawk, how you doing? Hawk says, pretty sure that's not what giving one's life means, but then again, I've never given my life.
What have you done,
Totally
Yuda?
not David Bowie here versus Ray Albino Ray.
Made use of this village's plentiful water supplies.
Yeah. Does anyone doubt that Yuda looks in the mirror and goes, while applying lips and goes, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck you. I'd fuck you hard." To be fair, I also think Steiner from Final Fantasy IX does that while applying the stuff to his eyelashes to make them more pronounced. But then again, Steiner, have you noticed in Final Fantasy IX that Steiner just is like really, really quick to accuse you of everything, even stuff you clearly didn't do?
Yeah.
Ooh, clearly poisons the ruler of Lindblum. I wasn't even here. How can you blame me? I bet you caused 9/11. Okay, now you're just preaching. Ah, Seb's very easily entertained. Oh yeah, see that picture I posted there, that person explaining the part of the eye and calling it the eye clit.
Pile driver!
The move from El Toro.
You're a laughing stock. Your only purpose now is to
The sad thing is that characters like Yuda weren't playable, which is kind of sad when you realise, the movesets are just specific characters. Like him and Shu have, I think, the same moveset.
Yeah. I'm not a laughing stock. Oh, motherfucker. I can use his ultimate move soon, which I will use to finish this.
Well, yes, hence its name. A finishing move. Imagine if you tried to play El Toro like Gunther.
Yeah. I demand all your gratitude. Oh, he survived.
What? Heaven's glory! You see, that would have been appropriate for Sunday.
Yeah.
You are a day too early, Ray. But then you are going to die today, so, you know.
But they look so fabulous. Ah, got him. I have a new controller now, so I've been getting on with it better.
No, I won't die this way.
Hit the wall. Go on, hit him against it harder.
What's driven you to this, Ray?
Go. Ooh. Tenryubu.
How would you waste that much water in a post-apocalyptic scenario?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't got a bunch of people in rags and stuff coming over and just like licking like dogs at a bowl.
Not another fighting game controller, I hope. No, I bit the bullet and got a official PS3 one.
This one has a second joystick.
Impossible.
Oh, which, by the way, Ollie, speaking of, you know that controller we saw that Trigger showed that had like the removable analog sticks and stuff?
Yeah.
I found one in cash converters.
Oh, nice.
80 quid though.
Yuda.
Impossible. You you clipped through my shoulder pads.
He jumps a little bit high.
And the beauty.
But I will die on my own terms.
Ray, you were the only one I ever admired. Allow me to die in your arms.
I kind of feel like that ending wasn't earned.
It's because we haven't seen this hasn't shown why Yuda is the way he is, what he's done. We've only gone off second-hand information as to what Mamiya's said. And Ray going, oh yeah, I know the guy, I'll kill him.
Yeah. I like how he died in a Buzz Lightyear pose. Ah.
Listen, if Ollie buys another fighting game controller and, you know, then he has to live with the fact that he chose it this time. He chose this and he was aware of what he was doing. You can't blame everyone else for it this time.
I didn't blame everyone else for it the first time, but not having a second control stick was a weird choice. Especially, like, okay, so there needs to be an L3 and R3 button, and this isn't a problem with the control stick, but there needs to be an L3 and R3 button. You'd have definitely wanted a kiss at the end there. Yeah, he did.
Goodbye.
So they've got to put that somewhere on the controller. But the R1 and R2 button are located on the face now. So you might be thinking, fortunately, 2 buttons are free. They don't fucking put them there.
To see me die.
They put them on L1 and R1. No, L1 and L2. So L1 and L2 get shunted over to the right. So the left bumper and left triggers are now on the right-hand side of the controller.
Be happy.
Ugh, for God's sake.
That's counterintuitive madness.
It's because you never grew up with fighting game arcades.
What
or
does the
fighting
L in
games.
L1 and L2 stand for, Sam?
God's sake, we're not Ollie. It's made for convenience.
We're not having this conversation because you know you're wrong.
No, we're not having this conversation because you're being a bitch. Because you keep throwing a tantrum like a 5-year-old and throw your toys out the pram because you don't want to accept that maybe there's a group of people that aren't you. Just maybe think for a second, just maybe, that in a situation when you've gotten so used to playing fighting games in a certain way and you want to play them at home, maybe people would rather have a controller that's more comfortable than your opinion. But we can all agree that the worst fighting game controller ever is the Wu-Tang Clan one.
Oh yeah.
Pound shop bullshit.
The big W shape.
The only things matter.
Well, yeah, Seb gets it.
All controllers must work the way I want them to. Wrong.
I'm just saying, if a game says press L1, I'm going to the one on the left because that's what it stands for.
Again, it's not made for that. It's made for one specific niche, and that's it.
It's made for Street Fighter. That's the only thing it's actually played pretty well with.
It's made for anything that uses the 6-button system. Street Fighter is just one of those things.
Well, I tried it on a bunch of fighting games, and it didn't really.
Yeah, you tried on a bunch of. You didn't try it on the main ones that are used for tournament in general. Pretty much anything Capcom based, pretty much, because they basically owned the fighting game industry for a long time.
What is it?
I mean, I'm probably going to use it if I start playing Street Fighter 6 again, which I probably will at some point.
You probably should, considering they've updated the DLC characters.
Yeah, it's probably got a bit better since I played it.
Oh, hell, Terry's now playable. Oh, Terry and Mai. What is it, Mamiya? I can't see it anymore. What, Ray? No, he's burning.
Okay, so that's Ray's story finished.
I like how they burn down the place just so they don't have to look at the mess.
Yeah.
You are already.
No one will see what it looks like. Gonna break Dan's heart.
Okay, we got a couple of missions with Ken where nothing else has to happen.
That guy's dead now. Ray's dead. Rest in peace.
Yep.
Oh god, the next one is Shu.
Yep.
Reunited in blood.
You must live. Death is not an option. The world needs you. Needs Hokuto Shinken.
The Nanto Emperor. Thousa or Sausa, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
And the need for an L3 and R3 button is already enough reason to have a second control stick, just saying.
Kenshiro left Mamiya's village once again. His next target, Sausa, the Holy Emperor. The man that even Rao had avoided fighting.
What? Did Rao avoid fighting him because he didn't know how to win, or...
Avoiding who?
Oh, right, you're a little behind. It was talking about,
the balance of
South of Thousa, that guy.
Okay, it's because Hokuto Shinken doesn't work on his body, and as far as they're concerned, it's
so
because...
did Rao not know why?
Rao doesn't know why. Only Toki knows how. Like, that's one of the reasons that gets Rao to even come with him. And he's like, I actually know what his weakness is.
Follow his path.
Like, I know the secret of his body. Because as far as Sausa explains it, his body is a godly body that is immune to... is just immune to it.
The rage of my fists.
That's literally all
what you must.
I'm immune.
Hawk says, I'm agreeing with my dealer.
Rampage of the Nanto.
Of course he's the dealer, because we're right. Any-
Plastic crack.
Yeah, I hate that that's my life now. I'm apparently a crack. The ironic thing is, I'm called his plastic crack dealer. I have never sold a thing to him.
Why?
I'm just the guy who suggested it.
There's concentration. Am I?
Oh no, commitment. Oh, Achilles heel.
It's not plastic crack that crackers anymore. Plastic crack is Warhammer. This is Transformers crack. Oh yes, yes. Sorry, I'm not quite up on the.
Yeah. It's okay. Anyway, Hawk, Warpath and Transmutate have turned up, so pictures soon. Wham! Bam! What a boomer! Well, it's better than when his girlfriend says apparently I'm his, D&D husband. Completely disagree with that.
If you got 5 Warhammer players and their money together, they could probably afford to hire some mercenaries. They could afford a fucking PMC.
Any who stand in my way shall feel the fury of my fists.
It's called Warhammer 40k because that's how much it costs to play it competitively. Look at the casual, hasn't even mortgaged a house to pay for his army.
Well, to be fair, you can do that in Australia. You have to do that to buy Transformers, funnily enough. Like, there's this guy I follow called Diamond Bolt on YouTube. One of the jokes he's made is that one of the figures that we could get in, like, games for 20 quid, you couldn't get in Australia, or if you did, you had to basically put your house down for a second mortgage. So he just flew to the UK for a convention, and after not being stabbed in Birmingham, where he was worried he would, and also him and his friends buying a Lost from Friends plushie and subjecting it to things that, if Toy Story is true, they're definitely going to hell.
Yeah.
He managed to, he managed to find the figure because it was cheaper to just get a flight over to the UK from Australia.
Yeah.
And buy the figure for 20 quid over here than it would have been to just buy the figure in his native Australia.
Yeah. Oh, Hawk says, watched Girl Who Loved Powerglide and the first Malaysian dub of Headmasters episode. Watched with Phil. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
How was it?
Oh, what does Phil think of Powerglide pimp slapping an heiress? I'll send you flying. I'm sorry, my girlfriend won't shut the fuck up.
You have to meet with our leader.
Also, the Malaysian stuff is, oh god, the Malaysian dub is terrible. Like, Ollie, you think the Ocean dub or these weird things you've seen with Dragon Ball is bad?
I mean, the Ocean dub is bad in some places. I actively prefer some parts of the Ocean dub, like Raccoon's voice.
But the Malaysian dub of Transformers is known for getting the names horribly wrong in weird ways. Like, for example, Spike is called Sparkle, Blaster is called Bully, and Fortress Maximus is renamed Spaceship Bruce.
Okay.
And when Soundwave dies and they rebuild him as Shock Blast, Sound Blaster, the Malaysian dub calls him New Soundwave. There's also a very memed bit where where Zarak goes, Fortress Maximus has come himself.
Oh.
Yes. Because English is a second language in Malaysia, so yeah.
You have betrayed the Sire people.
Yeah, it's a very legendarily bad dub. I'm a ninja consultant for the Decepticons. Now you know who I am. Or, in a very, you know, Dan Greenish way, defeated me.
Thanks. I was
Well,
worried
there's
there for
not
a
much
minute.
I can do about that now.
Woo! Die, punks!
It's Big Green. She said, Power Guy sounds like me when I don't want to go to the gym. What we should do at one point is we should, like, get a selection of Transformers episodes that are on YouTube, get Ollie in the chat and just watch along with him just to see his reaction to some of the insane shit. Just so he knows what the fuck we're even on about when it comes to Power Glide and why it was important that you got a version of him that came with, you know, that woman. Or that really depressing Golden Lagoon one where they destroy nature itself. And Beachcomber looks really fucking sad while everyone else is celebrating. And he just goes, "We won." While happy music is playing.
Yeah.
And, you know, like they just blew up the entire forest and dehomed a lot of animals. And Power Glide, and they're going, but yeah, Beachcomber's just really upset. Because he just wants he just likes nature. Like, he likes all the animals and stuff, and they've just destroyed their homes, and everyone else is celebrating that, yay, we beat the bad guys, and looking at all the wreckage of burning stumps and stuff, while happy music's playing. Or Shockwave's hatred of women. Females. I thought they were extinct.
That just sounded like Jack to me.
Trust me, if you saw how Shockwave is, that is pretty much him, yeah.
Not so fast, hotshot. You're not getting by me.
The #1 Megatron simp. You know, the guy who sits by the phone for 4 million years, constantly calling Megatron to see if he'll pick up.
Please, have mercy. Help us!
Female Autobots. I thought they were extinct. Oh yeah, and Nightbird, yeah. That whole thing. Megatron's, well,
We can't win! It's all over!
the human-built robot that he's very protective of. And Starscream gets jealous of.
Yeah, we'll help you too.
Yoshi has died.
No.
Okay, you can hatch another one.
Do you think you could climb this cliff?
Megatron enough to replace you, Starscream. I think it was she's hot enough to replace you, sound. She's hot enough to replace you, Starscream.
Any females?
Yeah, hot. That's it. Hot enough to replace you, Starscream.
Get ready to die.
Please, have mercy.
Funny enough, someone has done a video on Galvatron recently, like just the whole insane stuff with him.
Didn't you hear the screams of those I killed before?
Ow. Oh, fucking rocks at you. Ew. Ow.
Why aren't you moving?
Move, you bastard.
I wasn't far up enough.
I have a question for you.
Oh, or when they mispronounce Cybertron as Cyberdon.
The true ruler of this land, the holy emperor.
What the hell is Cyberdon? That's it.
Help me! I'm not ready to.
Oh yeah, there's also that episode where that guy, where one of the headmasters has a friend called Jack, who gets kidnapped by Six-Shot and tortured, and then blown up in front of his friends.
We're done for.
I'll take you on a piece of me. Want a piece of me? I'm not ready to. This is it, you scum. Get ready to die.
Life is a privilege.
Crumple's paper. That's it.
Oh, Tetsu. Oh no, Tetsu's died. Metal.
Oh, I've got nothing to crumple.
That's it.
Hey.
And where do you think you're going?
Murasaki, the most Mortal Kombat character.
You don't have a light, do you?
Oh.
Don't do this to me.
Just remember that at one point, Quan Chi and one of his minions pretended to be Zero and Taja just so they could pretend to fucking Kung Lao's house and it annoy him.
Yeah. That was a fun episode. Oh, you fail. I mean, guess that means we don't want to fail. Yellow fluff. I gotta light that with a torch. Where is the torch?
I just wanted to summon you back so I didn't know what feel. Sluts!
Oh, there's the torch.
Again, and this was all before like they even knew what the fuck to even do with Quan Chi, so you either had the Defenders of the Realm version that was just very what's the word? He was just some kind of
Take that, sucker!
oh, there we go. Like some kind of sorcerer, and that's it. Or you know the version that was on on Conquest, where he's just God, what even? How would you even describe him in that?
Out of my way!
Oh shit! Ollie, there's people coming. Coming.
What is this?
How is this what to do and die?
Michael, the blonde one of Quan Chi Dojo is going to be at WrestleMania. Really?
If we wish to fight back, now is our chance.
Oh yeah, because he thinks Tiffany Stratton is looks
Ah.
like one of his minions.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, she does.
You think you can just come one by in here. Grind him into dust.
Right. For the record, I could have done that at any time. Alright, let's do this.
This is it, you scum! Get ready to die! Take them all out!
Please, have mercy.
What the?
I think next month Onimusha 2 comes out. I think I'll have to check the pre-order stuff, but hey, that means you can finally see Gogan Gontus. The most ridiculous character in all of the second game.
We can't win.
Honestly, just playing the old Onimushas on modern televisions with old hardware is hard, and it seems to only be a thing with Capcom games. They just appear to be too damn dark.
Yeah.
In terms of the content. So I've tried playing Code Veronica and all 3 Onimushas on it, and well, all I'm hoping is that we get Onimusha 3.
Oh, I looked
Thank
into
you.
it. There is a company that
We would have
makes a
never
light
made it
gun
without your help.
that supposedly
Our
works on
leader is
LCD
right through there.
TVs.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it's like 200 quid. I mean, as much as I would love to play Time Crisis on the PS1 properly again, I don't know that it's worth 200 quid to me. She looks like Jamie Presley. Yeah.
You've saved us. I don't know what we would have done without
Then I suppose it is a very niche product, so you can expect to pay a premium for it.
Attack! Crush every last one of them!
Everything's crumbling before our very eyes. You'll pay for this atrocity, Salzer!
Oh,
Also, watching a lot of videos have also been coming up lately involving the old Resident Evil stuff as well, like the never-ending debacle of getting a copy of Resident Evil 1.5. The irony of that is, I don't think they actually want it. They want it as much as they think they do. I mean, would you really want a less than complete 80% build of a game that was never finished?
Yeah.
That's the thing, they talk about it as if it's some kind of holy grail, and it has a lot of stuff that was never used in later games, some of which I actually think would terrify you.
Fade, the northern stars will shine.
Like, imagine spiders that could crawl onto dead bodies and, like, stick their legs in and control the human bodies like puppets.
Is the greatest
Yeah.
fighting style of them all.
That's fucking terrifying.
You must defeat me if you wish to bring an end
Also
to
the infected
darkness.
gorillas, and
My
for some
name is
reason
Shu.
French William
I am one
Birkin.
of the 6 Nanto masters trained in the art of Nanto Hakuroken. People refer to me as the Blind Warrior.
Not quite the Yakuza intros we'd get, but, you know, we're getting there.
And now
Yeah.
this man?
Shoo!
wishes to rule the land.
They refer to me as the Blind Warrior. Are you blind? Because if it is, it's a very apt name.
He's not supposed to know this yet, but fuck it.
Feel the true power of Nanto Hakuroken.
No.
You're already dead.
Okay, now I'm gonna go and grab that gallon of water. Where was it? It's back here.
Gasoline. Drink it and make your insides clean.
You will soon know the true power of Hakuroken. You will soon know the true power of Hakuroken.
You're already dead.
It seems it will take more than childish tricks to best you.
Don't cry for me, I'm already dead.
Please, Ken, don't hurt him. He saved Bat and me. It's true.
Could have told me that before I pressed his vital point.
I apologize. I felt the only way to gauge your true ability was to risk my life to test it.
It is you. I remember now. You saved my life by giving up your sight.
The Nanto Emperor.
Shu, one of the 6 Nanto Masters, practitioner of Nanto Hakuroken, born under the star of benevolence. He was a selfless warrior,
The
a protector of the
Emperor.
pure and innocent. Long ago, he had sacrificed his own eyes in order to save a young Kenshiro's life. Now he led the resistance against the Holy Emperor. But both Shu and Sauser were fellow Nanto Masters. And Shu's skills were useless against Sauser's overwhelming might. With the Nanto Order in disarray, it fell to the Hokuto to set things right. And so Kenshiro moved to halt Sauser's advances. There he would discover the reason that Rao had feared Sauser so much.
Ken, unless
we're
you
about to
defeat
see
the Holy
Sauser.
Emperor, this bloodshed will continue forever.
The Holy Emperor, Sauser.
Chapter 10. The Nanto Emperor.
Sorry, I was just finding a cable to plug my phone into.
It's fine, it's fine.
Okay. Alright, let's do this.
I'll say it again. Hokuto Shinken is invincible.
I'm not dead.
The Holy
Yeah,
Imperial
he
Army's
says he's not
atrocities
dead.
can go on no longer.
Yes, he is.
Only
I'm
because
not.
he's dead.
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill. I'm getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment.
What is this? No! I'm not ready to...
Aha! I have defeated the motorbikes.
Ha ha! I've taken you down, dual-wield automatons.
Your iron horse was no match for me.
This is it, you scum!
Ha! Your laws are no match for our weapons.
I'm not ready to... It's Kenshiro! We'll never take him! Run!
Oh, pursuit failed. What was I meant to be pursuing?
Your dreams, Ollie.
I mean, that was kind of never on the table. I swear,
Nah.
if I hadn't been born with cerebral palsy, I'd have made such a great pro wrestler.
Kill him by any means
You'd have made a good Mick Foley. You could have been this generation's Mick Foley.
I could have.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay to see you be thrown down the stairs and fall off things.
I mean, you still could do that, but nobody wants to because it's uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. Ew, no. What about his feelings? Yeah, well, he consented to it, and I thought consent was the important thing.
None of the wrestlers want to turn heel and throw me down a flight of stairs. I offer to. You were there. You saw it.
I will literally turn heel, and I will do a mocking promo where I'm saying, maybe the fall will fix your problem. Or maybe it'll get rid of you. Either way, it fixes a problem, then just push you down the stairs.
Do you think John Cena would now? If I ever see him, I'll ask.
Throw me down the stairs.
Oh, Seb was asking if I think John Cena would do it now. Well, no, because he knows I want him to. Apparently that's his thing. He's told us nothing about him, but he knows everything about us, which is just something Jack would say. He used to say at Heroin, you only know what I allow you to know. I'm sorry, but that's just what that promo reminded me of. And, well, then he vowed to ruin wrestling for everybody by taking the WWE title and retiring with it.
Oh, come on. He ruined wrestling for people years ago, in some cases.
You think I tell you?
I just laugh if he wins the title and go, and Ric Flair goes, sorry, buddy, but according to this, I'm a 20-time world champion.
21.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, and then just like strutting around as like we just suddenly go, haha, you've won nothing.
You'll forget the name Ric Flair. You've still got like 4 to go before you even tie them out.
If I could just find something to break down that wall.
I mean, like, so they got 16, did WWE, because they were refusing to acknowledge only some, but not all, of his NWA World Title reigns. Is that correct?
Well, no, the NWA itself didn't recognise a lot of them till recently.
Oh, I see.
Good. Okay, so to explain this in crippling detail, sorry, but the NWA Rick was doing wrestling before the nationalisation of professional wrestling. What this meant is that NWA would only show on American television.
Yeah.
This means if they did a show overseas in any way, no one in the States was going to see it. The internet didn't exist.
Oh, so anytime he'd win a title overseas, it didn't count.
What he would do is he'd go into the local territory, and let's just say he wrestled Bobo Brazil in his hometown, or if he went to Israel or any other country, and then he'd lose the title to the local hero, and then win it back the next night before they went back to the States. These are what we call Phantom Championship wins.
Ah.
Basically, they are not counted.
And by that...
It's kind of like similar to how Brian Kendrick has held the WWE title technically, but they don't count him.
Yeah. I was talking to Seb the other day about what the territory system was to explain Dusty Rhodes to him, and later his son Dustin Rhodes, which made him laugh.
That's what made him laugh, not Dusty Rhodes' entire behaviour.
It says, and by that you mean wrestling companies were bought up, not bought by the government. Yeah, they were bought up by, well, no, Vince didn't buy out the companies, he just raided them for their talent.
That is an accurate assessment of what happened, yes.
Yeah. He signed all of the wrestlers people wanted to see, basically. And
well, the agreement. What it was is the territories were a bunch of territories local to each state, and they all had a finance, and they had like a board of directors, that would decide who was going to be their NWA World Champion. They had like local areas that had their own championship, but clearly, obviously, people would want, you know, their guy.
Oh, John Cena was a long time after this.
Yeah. Basically, what would happen is Ric Flair was usually the world champion, but what would happen is, like, say, some people would only work in Georgia, some people would work in, like, you'd have the Funks in Texas, you'd have the Von Erichs in another part of Texas, but I don't think they were part of the NWA, they were their own thing. Because some of them did go off and do their own thing, like, one that I know of is that Nick Bockwinkel wanted to be the world champion because he was a very well, you know, versed wrestler and was actually pretty good, but the NWA board of directors refused to give him a shot at the world championship against Pat O'Connor. So he basically
I need to find a way to break that door.
He pulled what I call the... Try throwing the barrels at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled what I call the being a whiny bitch way of dealing with things, or the neener way, of which he broke away from the NWA, made his own title belt, and said, right, well, the NWA champion is now the current AWA champion, and if he doesn't come and defend it, well, that makes me champion by default. Naturally, the NWA ignored him, and this was the beginning of the end, but it was a collective group of people who would agree, who would like have this unspoken agreement of, well, you know, you work for me now, so, well, not so much a you work for me thing, more of a, you know, we'll have, you know, your champion, your guy be the champion or something if he's popular enough, but he'll have to travel around here and whatnot and travel as the champ. And Vince McMahon's dad was part of that. As he was the
Vincent J. McMahon.
Yes, Vincent J. McMahon. He would run the WWF, and eventually, you know, it was running fine. Vince McMahon got it, and despite what the documentary will tell you, Vince didn't take the company from his dad because he was some great business acumen. He had some great business acumen. His dad was already running it fine. His agreement was, like, it's worded as, if you can pay me back money, you can pay me back this amount of money, then I will sell the shares. But if you cut to you, but if you can't, then it all defaults back to me. What really happened was, the company's already running fine. All you need to do is keep up the bare necessities to keep it going, and if you can manage that, then that's fine. Then as soon as he got the territories, he decided, no, this company needs to change. So what he would do is he would go into other territories, he would offer guaranteed contracts, because wrestlers didn't really have guaranteed contracts at the time, and that would ensure that he could go, yeah, oh, you want to see this guy, he's going to be working for us. So he'd get Roddy Piper, he got Hulk Hogan, who had already burned his bridges with Vince McMahon Jr. Sr. because of the Rocky movie, believe it or not, ruined his relationship with Vince McMahon Sr.
I believe it.
Because Vince McMahon Sr. pretty much told him, you cannot be in this thing. If you turn up in this movie, don't ever turn up for work again, and then Hogan didn't. He was like, fine, but then Vince McMahon Sr. Jr. brought him back. Mainly because at that point he was trying to get rid of Bob Backlund as the world champion.
Oh, Bob Backlund.
So yeah, what he would do is he would buy out the talent. So all the people who would like to be the big stars in Georgia, Texas, or anywhere else, suddenly, oh, they're not going to be there anymore. They're going to be working for Vince McMahon and his company.
There we go. We just took a bit of a...
Yeah. So Vince would have all this, and this did lead to real life issues where they would actually put like hits on Vince's life.
You're right.
Like there were actual calls to murder Vince for what he was doing, because they felt he was stepping in on their, he was hustling in on their turf quite badly.
Well,
which he
was.
And there were things such as when you're familiar with the Hulk Hogan beating the Iron Sheik thing.
Yeah.
Nicky Baby was offered money by Nick Bockwinkel to break Hogan's back legitimately.
Oh wow.
He didn't, and he kind of stooged himself on to Vince, which got Sheik, you know, a guarantee, you know, a pretty cushy life after that. Like, Vince does reward loyalty, funnily enough, in a psychotic kind of way.
Time to swing the momentum.
But yeah, he basically, they had people say, you know, telling Vince McMahon Jr., you need to stop your son, he's going too far. This led to the NWA losing territories anyway, because, you know, they couldn't sustain themselves because they didn't have the stars. One of the only ones left was Georgia Championship Wrestling, but that was Vince did buy that for a little while, but then sold it back.
Which one was the one that Kerry Von Erich owned for a while?
That would be the WCCW in Texas.
Ah, the one that the Iron Claw had in it.
Yeah, that was WCCW.
Yeah.
But that was run by Fritz Von Erich, and was more famous for the Von Erichs versus the Freebirds than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started to die off. It didn't help that, again, the AWA was what it was, because they did try to fight back. Because the biggest question I hear people saying is, why didn't the NWA try to fight back, you know, with things other than murder? And they did try. The problem they had was they were too small of a thing. Like, Jerry Lawler joined in because he was part of the AWA for a bit, but the AWA was as badly run as it was. And he was paranoid that the NWA guys were going to try and take his stars. Because, you know, he was a very paranoid man. The AWA guys were going over to the WWE, which included people like Jesse Ventura and Hogan. And even Bobby Heenan. And it also didn't help that Ole Anderson was a piece of shit and made it difficult to do work with him. And by the end of it, the only NWA territory left was Georgia, and that became WCW. And you know how that went.
Yeah.
Ted Turner bought it off the Crockett's. Because Ted Turner always loved wrestling. So,
yeah.
You know, it was always going to work.
You're a true savior.
And of course, ECW broke away from the Philadelphia branch, broke away and became ECW. I think it existed in a very small.
Kenshito's here. Hurry, we have to tell
Existence for a while, because it was still going in '97 to a degree, but nowhere near the level it had in the '70s and '80s. Because Vince had a whole thing with that NWA invasion that went very fucking poorly. Then when WCW went out of business, Jeff and Jerry did deals with the what was left of the NWA to form TNA.
Right.
And then after a while, if you remember when I first got you watching, they still had the NWA World title.
Yeah.
And then they suddenly no longer had it, and suddenly they've got their own thing. That's when they broke away from the NWA and became regular TNA again. And since then, the NWA, as far as I know, is currently owned by Billy Corgan. And it's a fucking mess.
Yes, that's Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, yeah.
Yes, the very
That's
same...
Billy Corgan.
Sorry, I haven't been able to let my wrestling historian out for a while.
Seb says, I saw him live once.
I think Billy bought the NWA because of the whole... Dixie Carter did kind of try to fuck him pretty bad.
She tried to screw him over, not she tried to fuck him.
I'm not putting my fingers in that pot. Basically, my understanding is the Hulk Hogan situation and Eric Bischoff situation did so much damage to TNA that they couldn't afford to run things for a while.
Seb said she was just down bad, apparently.
I mean, again, considering the shit she was allowing herself to be involved with in the storylines, remember the Claire Lynch thing?
Yeah, and grabbing
Which,
onto
by the way,
Hogan's
Eric
leg as he
Bischoff-
walks away was the...
By the way, Eric Bischoff has said that he loved the Claire Lynch storyline.
Of course he fucking did.
That's all you have to know about that man here to know about that man. Anyway, the damage was done so badly that Dixie's dad was closed the purse strings because they'd spent so much money on Hogan and he hadn't done anything, like to bring up the income. Spike TV found out about the whole Vince Russo thing because one of their conditions was that Vince cannot work for the company, and then he accidentally outed himself by accidentally sending an email meant for Mike Tenay to a wrestling journalist who was also named Mike.
Yeah.
With directions for how to do the commentary. Then when this journalist clearly goes, oh, well, this guy just literally handed me a fucking scoop. He tries to play it off as, haha, I tricked you, bro. It didn't work out then very well for him, and then when it was revealed, Spike cut all ties with Dixie Carter. So she needed another investor, and it turned out there are several people who in the industry who really like wrestling, believe it or not, like Toby Keith.
Yeah. Several people in the wrestling industry who really like wrestling?
No, not the wrestling industry, the music industry, I should say.
Oh, right.
Toby Keith allegedly had offered to buy the company years ago, but apparently Dixie refused to not have any control, even though she no longer have any stake in the company anymore. She still wanted to run it, even though she would not be, she was selling the company. It'd be the equivalent of Steve Jobs selling Apple and then demanding, okay, I've sold this to you, but I still want to run it. Toby basically told them to get out of his house. So Billy Corgan agreed to, like, finance the company as long as he got an ownership stake. Dixie promised him that and then refused to give him any kind of control, refused to sign over anything, and refused to pay back any of the money. This led to Billy actually having their TNA's accounts frozen, so they couldn't pay any of their employees. When it got to court, TNA was then bought out by Anthem, who paid off all of her debts to Billy, but it cost her all of her control.
Yeah.
It also meant that while she did try to maintain a relationship with TNA, nobody wanted her backstage at that point, so she was pretty much blacklisted. I think she got like a 3% stake left after the Anthem buyout. And then Anthem had their own problems running it because of the whole Matt Hardy thing, and then Billy Corgan just bought the NWA as a whole. Well, fuck it, if I can't run this company, I'll buy another one. And that led to the whole NWA thing that involved James Mitchell and fake cocaine.
Yeah.
Which I cannot explain for various reasons.
I'll buy a new company with blackjack and hookers.
He was not lying about the blackjack and hookers bit. He really wasn't. He really wasn't lying about the blackjack and hookers. Literally, I watched one NWA show, and it was literally James Mitchell with a bunch of people playing blackjack, drinking booze, and taking fake cocaine. Which the network that, you know, was running NWA at the time was very unhappy with and took away their TV time slot because of it.
They should have gone to Netflix. Netflix don't give a fuck. You're not subject to broadcast standards and practices on Netflix.
Oh, I know they don't. I know the bullshit behind it. I know the bullshit behind Adolescence and everything else they make. I know they don't have a moral compass.
I don't know anything about that adolescence
I
thing.
didn't explain anything, but did they know the cocaine was fake? Yes, they knew the cocaine was fake. They knew they weren't doing actual hard drugs. But as far as they were concerned,
They were depicting it.
they were depicting it with literally James Mitchell, who I don't need to explain, basically just Ming the Merciless and Satan rolled into one. I mean, I love James Mitchell. I'm a big old fan of the Sin Min.
The sinister minister.
Yep. Yeah, good old Sin Min.
Oh!
What?
He made EastEnders watchable. He's not one of those Mitchells. Although, James Mitchell being like, just as I knew him, just popping into EastEnders is probably one of the things that might actually make me watch it.
James Mitchell and Webb.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me that James Mitchell and David Mitchell were related, I would be surprised. But I would also believe you.
That would be, God, that would be, well, he could definitely be in the show, that for sure.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they couldn't find a role for James Mitchell.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a very, very, very abridged story of the NWA in territories. They don't exist anymore, and there are usually some very small, crappy indie promotions in the States who still call themselves a territory, which is hilarious in ways that would make me sound like an asshole for saying why it's hilarious. But it is literally usually just some guy with his friends who have got enough money to get themselves a wrestling ring, have basic wrestling training, and run the local school gymnasiums with maybe about 5 or 6 people turning up. I think Kayfabe News made a joke about them at one point where they were like, have like one guy who has like 3 people on his roster, most of which are his friends, who play multiple different characters, usually with different masks, about how they're the last Fed in town, and they won't sell out to Vince McMahon, who doesn't even know who they are.
I'm not gonna bury you! I'm gonna cremate you!
I'm not gonna bury you. I'm gonna cremate you.
What the?
You know who would have made a fun general manager?
Who?
Paul Bear.
Yeah, he would have. Remember when Teddy Long started giving out matches with The Undertaker as punishments?
Yes. I remember Teddy Long going to Wrestlers Court and to this day still not understanding why he was being accused of anything. Like, my understanding was it was because he was a cheap bastard and he kept pretending to sleep on the road.
Yeah.
Whenever they were up on the going anywhere, he would pretend to fall asleep whenever they went through a toll booth or something, so he didn't do anything. He never paid his fair share. And he thought it was something to do with... He thought he was being accused of selling Viagra backstage.
What the fuck? How do you get that from...
I don't know. He still doesn't understand this, and it's been explained multiple times why he was being accused. I mean, his punishment was just to buy the APA lots, chicken and beer for a month.
Is that illegal? No, I'm not sure it is.
I don't know. Selling certain things backstage, I don't. Like, again, Wrestlers Court was more of a kangaroo court, but if you did things, because the idea was that from Dutch Mantel, that
it was for breaches of etiquette, really, more than
management. Much like how these days you'll see people go, why don't the companies deal with their people, the people who work for them, going on tirades on Twitter or any of their stuff? The reason is that corporate does not want to deal with drama. No matter how big or petty it actually is, they don't want to get involved unless it becomes way too fucking serious and they have no choice. In wrestling, it's that, look, if you've got a problem, you deal with it yourselves. And so Dutch Mantel felt that a bunch of, you know, testosterone-filled, muscle-bound guys stuck together backstage, they're going to run into problems and there needs to be a solution to keep them managed. And Wrestlers Court was that way of doing things. It was so management stays out of it and the guys themselves can, like, police themselves. This is obviously a very stupid idea when you actually think about it.
Yeah.
Because they would punish people for stupid things. Like, things like Goldberg absolutely needed to be policed. Like, you know, him causing problems and starting fights that actually had them rolling out into the audience and stuff. And, like, all the backstage bit where the fans were.
Dutch Mantel sounds like a gossip website in the Netherlands. Oh.
Yeah, all you remember might know him better as Zeb Coulter.
Yes, I remember the man. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was mostly The Undertaker who was the judge.
Yeah, he's basically the most responsible person backstage.
Well, you say that, but he would punish people for stupid things. Anyway, like it was like to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like for example, trying to think of some things like they punished the Hardy Boys because Kane gave up his seat to Jeff Hardy, and they felt that was a breach of respect, even though Kane had okayed it. So they were punished by having them damage Don Callis's car to the point he couldn't get his deposit back by breaking off like toothpicks in the lock.
Why is that a punishment for the Hardys?
No, they had problems with him anyway.
Well, okay, but how does this punish the Hardys?
It was having them do it so they didn't have to.
They didn't have to anyway.
Well, no, they didn't. Well, you know how it is. If they didn't do it, they would have got some heat backstage or something. Like Edge and Christian got heat at one point because they would. What they would do is they would bribe the writers with action figures to give them, so the writers would give them good stuff during the 2000s. I think they got punished for that with something small. I'm trying to think of what else, what other stupid thing they had that they'd done. Let's see, there was the Hardys. They punished Muhammad Hassan for using the camel clutch without asking Eddie Guerrero's permission, because his dad invented it. Also, some issue at the bar or something. They punished the women for losing a volleyball game to the Tough Enough women.
Yeah.
But that was an actual punishment because they were like, you're meant to be the actual employees and you lost to these people, and you know, they tried to say, well, it's fucking volleyball, what do you expect us to do? And Ivory tried to argue their way out of it, going, well, we've got to put these people over in some way, and how else do you want us to do it? Through wrestling? They're not going to manage that. They did manage to soften their sentence by bribing the judge, which was like getting a hotel room for, like paying for a hotel room for Triple H.
Right.
At the bar, they had wrestling lawyers. I mean, they had a wrestling IRS man.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. Oh yeah, they did have a wrestling lawyer, Clarence Mason. But he wasn't a wrestler; he was a manager that was also a lawyer. I'm trying to think of other silly things they've done. Like, oh yeah, that Al Snow and Mick Foley, because they offered to take Bob Holly to a fun park.
Right.
And then they forgot him. And left him at the airport. He had to re-rent his car. So, as punishment, they had Mick Foley pay for all of his expenses, which they only did to Mick because Mick was in a contest with Owen Hart to see who could live on
the bar. They had wrestling lawyers.
Yeah. I think Mick and Owen were in a contest to see who could live the cheapest on the road. And the competition was literally down to the pennies.
Oh.
Like, they were seeing who could live the cheapest. Because Mick was known to be a cheapskate in his own right, but he was willing to, like, go that far. So there was that, and he also had to buy a bunch of flavoured, like, whey protein stuff for Bob Holly as well.
Yeah.
Other ones are Goldberg having to apologise for, you know, being disrespectful to Chris Jericho. Brock Lesnar at one point was actually scheduled, but he just didn't turn up.
Yeah. Although I kind of understand Mick Foley being a cheapskate because, like, well, he laid it out in a promo actually that one Raw when he got fired, and it's like, I love this job, but I don't need it. Like, I've been very sensible with my money.
Oh yeah, he was.
He drives a used minivan.
The reason they stopped doing Wrestlers Court so much was because when Brock Lesnar committed a faux pas.
Yeah. Are you gonna tell him?
No, they told him, and he just laughed at. They told him and sent JBL to go get him, and he just laughed and then just ignored them. Because Brock was in a position where he was going to be pushed anyway, so they couldn't affect his push. And they were just like, okay, you know what, that's fine. And they just ignored him. I think they also had Melina, where the worst one they did was with Melina, where they punished her, but they started taking bets on how long it would take for her to cry.
Right.
This is it.
So they had Undertaker screaming in her face and insulting her, so the guys were taking bets on how long it'd take till she started breaking down. Because, you know, that's healthy.
You seriously think you can stop us? Huh?
What is this?
You're all grown up, I see.
Muhammad Hassan punished for doing his job.
March to glory ends
Yeah.
right here.
See, the horror stories of the Wrestlers Court. According to various sources at the time, the issue arose because Hassan didn't adequately react to Slaughter's offense when the former WWE champion was applying an offense, which many veterans saw as disrespectful. Booked to dominate and then bollocked in charge for being too dominant. Hassan was able to apologise in order to keep the peace, but the heat was rising, and then he was left thousands of dollars out of pocket. Hassan's follow-up victory encountered the moment where backstage something. He was advised by Kurt Angle as a rib to ask Eddie Guerrero to stop using the camel clutch as it was Hassan's finishing move. Eddie took the request in stride and reassured Hassan there were no hard feelings. Even embracing him, it was all part of a cruel prank that was going to get worse for the newcomer. Unbeknownst to him, Guerrero's father invented the move while Eddie no-sold it in the locker room. The locker room didn't, and the Wrestlers Court beckoned. The perceived disrespect towards Guerrero led to Hassan being ordered to cover a bar tab that the wrestlers worked up to a whopping $2,000. That's a bit ridiculous.
That one usually one-shots them.
Damn. Teddy Long's trip to Wrestler's Court illustrated just how unpredictable it could be, illuminating the light-hearted side of the concept which the likes of Undertaker and JBL could lean on whenever they wanted to be far crueler to those they had problems with. Pete Gas shared a tale noting that along with being notoriously cheap, he was using what cash he did have to buy Viagra to upsell it in the locker room. That's what it was, he was upselling the Viagra.
But why would... Like... I mean, surely if someone wanted it, they could buy it cheaper.
Yeah. Per those in the room, Long tried to turn the tables by selecting Mae Young as his lawyer, hoping her humour would sway the group. True to form, Mae Young stole the show, referring to the pills as Niagara, which had everyone in stitches. Naturally, the verdict still didn't go in Long's favour. He was found guilty and had to buy buckets of chicken and cases of beer for his fellow wrestlers. The only major drawback here, Long avoided going one-on-one with The Undertaker because Triple H happened to be the judge this time round.
You're already dead.
Edge gifted WWE writer Brian Gerwitz a Flash action figure which would have been interpreted as an attempt to curry favour in the locker room before it was witnessed by the worst person to spot it, Bob Holly. Per the Rated R Superstar autobiography, when the Canadians learned where they were heading to Wrestler's Court, they decided to take a humorous approach. They arrived armed with a mock how-to book entitled Ed and Christian How to Kiss Ass, Our Road to the Top. This comedic self-parody caught the locker room off guard, turning accusations into laughter. Several locker room figureheads praised their quick thinking, with Triple H remarking it was the best defense he'd seen in Wrestler's Court. To ensure further leniency, Edge and Christian left a settlement of Harley Davidson and boxing memorabilia in Undertaker's locker, playing to his interests. Their sentence was light, while Gerwitz, lacking a similar charm, was tasked with writing a sincere essay on respecting the wrestling business.
You should know.
First-class charges brought against the Hardys.
It is by far
Okay.
the most destructive of all the vital
As outlined in their shared autobiography, the Hayes had come on air and on and off screen, but had doled out some advice on how that it would cost them dearly if the trip was to be the most comfortable they'd ever experienced. During
Then
extra
let's count
legroom
them
upset,
together,
taking
shall
the
we?
extra legroom from Kane,
1.
from Kane, who was supposed to be seated there, ended up as a coach as a result.
3.
Man Jeff attempted to relinquish their seats, but Wrestlers Court proceeded largely to address the perceived outstepping of the hierarchy. According to Matt, prosecutor JBL exaggerated the accusations, then insisted the brothers pay off The Undertaker with Jack Daniels as punishment. Also included a sentence of Hayes, who was ordered to buy Kane lunch regularly until supposed order had been restored.
Impossible. I know I pressed his point.
Oh no, Hooker, his pressure point attacks aren't working.
Oh, he's immune. What if they've been pretending it works and Sal's is the only one not willing to play around?
You have been bested by the Imperial.
Do you know how much fake blood we've had to buy?
Listen, I'm not playing this game with you, so yeah, you can't kill people like that. They just... Those people were just like dolls filled with jam.
And I couldn't get jam for my scone because it was all gone. So... Oh, by the way, I listened to the audiobook of that book, Jam, that Yahtzee did a bit ago.
Yeah. JTG wrote a book called Damn, Why Did I Write This Book?
Okay, what kind of time are we?
We are looking at almost 3 o'clock. We've got almost 15 minutes till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh fuck, what the... Oh, we're, approaching the 3-hour mark. So,
well,
you want to do one more hour, or you want to call it? What do you want to do?
We can do one more. We can do one more hour.
Yeah.
Do one more. Get any rest up. Yeah. Oh, JTG. Wait. Let's see.
Okay, the next mission is a Toki mission.
Toki. Oh yeah, this will be the one where he tries to get him and Raoul are making their way over to the pyramid.
Yeah.
Oh, pyramid for people. Because that is skipped over as well. The temple he's building. Also cuts out that really horrible scene where he eats a piece of chicken and then just throws it to the floor in front of starving people.
Rao,
Oh yeah.
Toki, and Kenshin.
And it's if you touch it, I'll kill you.
Their mighty battle ended in a stalemate. The injured Rao temporarily withdrew his army.
Okay, apparently JTJ avoided Wrestler's Court because of the Benoit incident.
Constructed the Holy Cross mausoleum.
He's going to eat every fucking chicken Ezra.
Declaring
No,
to
he
the
didn't
world
eat it
that
though.
he
He just
was the true
wasted it and threatened them if anyone
Even
who was
Raoul
of the starving
feared
ever
his
ate it.
might.
Yeah, he's crazy because he's fucking
So-
crazy.
Toki
Basically
knew
how the
reason
distribution
for
system
Sauser's
works right
seeming
now.
invulnerability.
Oh, the Holy Cross
He led
Mausoleum.
Rao to the Holy Cross Mausoleum.
How did they build those pyramids
To
though without the
expose
aid of the
Saucer's secret
modern
at last.
technology?
Yeah.
It's simple. He had
And to
whips,
carve a
massive
path for
whips.
Kenshiro to challenge his supremacy.
Yeah, I said about like
Three of the
that
Hokuto
actually does
brothers
remind me.
against
I have
Saucer,
friends that have had to
mightiest
go
of the
dumpster
Nanto
diving
masters.
before for food,
Towering
and then
mausoleum
like,
would soon be
well,
the
this
final
was
resting
shortly
place
before
for
they
one
started
side
pouring bleach
or
on the
other.
food that they threw out, so that homeless and like hungry people couldn't get it.
I know Saucer's secret.
And it's like
Jesus.
that just seems like
Tell me what you know.
unnecessarily like dickish behavior.
Two,
Like you've thrown it out.
path of destiny.
There's like the whole like Bowser wasting the food and threatening you thing seemed comically bastardly at the time, but it's like no, people do similar stuff.
Okay, this is actually pretty tame. Raven was punished in Wrestler's Court for thinking he was better than he actually was, as far as the rest of the locker room were concerned, by not being allowed to speak in the locker room for 2 months.
Oh, we've got the bonus skin for Toki.
Oh, so we'd have him be healthy?
Only one
Yeah,
who
we
has
have.
truly mastered his art
Yes!
can hope to defeat me.
Jesus, Toki!
I think we must have, or whoever played him last, it was probably you, must have chosen that skin. And it's just remembered it, and I haven't changed it back.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't remember
we must
what
find
happened the last
Kenshiro
time we played this game.
Oh, Enzo Amore was taken to Wrestler's Court, so it still was going on in the modern era.
Nowhere.
I
My
mean,
orders are to leave no one alive.
if you're gonna send someone,
Yeah. One of the key reasons he was related to his reputation of being overly vocal and not always respecting the boundaries of others. Sources closely to the situation indicated that Amore's antics often put him at odds with others, creating a sense of tension within the locker room. He was known for being brash and sometimes disruptive, which didn't sit well with many veterans who believed in maintaining a level of decorum. His failure to gauge when a joke went too far, or when he was crossing the line with fellow talent, contributed to his involvement in a makeshift Wrestler's Court punishment, commencing on a tour bus. After speaking loudly on his phone to someone and saying negative things about the industry well within earshot of others, it fell to Roman Reigns to lead the charge and kick him off the bus completely. Roman Reigns has been to Wrestler's Court.
Thank you.
well,
Even Roman Reigns isn't immune.
as a sort of wrestling barrister more than a
Yeah.
There are too many of them. Let's split up.
Wrestler's Court just sounds so silly, like it's taking
As
up.
Roman Reigns Roman Reigns had recently main evented WrestleMania 32 and at long last WWE champion and continued to be a heavy hitter. In order to get across any potential controversy or additional punishments, he effectively summoned himself to court. Upon returning from his suspension, he addressed the locker room to discuss the issue directly, emphasizing the need for professionalism and accountability. Recent returnee and longtime Shield collaborator Seth Rollins later clarified it was more about Roman taking responsibility than being put on trial. but the whole thing highlights it's possible for consequences to be faced with focus on open communication rather than unnecessary hazing. Okay, that actually sounds better than like what what it usually does. Wait, Toki can fly?
Oh, he can also heal himself.
Yep.
Oh, but that's the only one thing.
Oh yeah, The Miz for eating chicken over Benoit's back.
The Miz has retold that story a lot of times, but he says he's still not sure he actually did.
Yeah. So, The Miz ended up in wrestler's court after he committed a major locker room faux pas of eating chicken over Benoit's bag and accidentally getting crumbs on it. Such behaviour is seen as disrespectful in locker rooms' unwritten rules, particularly as Miz was new and hadn't had a background in wrestling and was a long way from earning the respect. Court deemed he had to prove himself and his equality. Infamous and well-documented sentence was to change outside the locker room, forcing him to find his own private areas such as janitor's closets until he gained acceptance. Reflecting on the incident, Miz noted how tough love played a part in wrestlers enforcing these standards. Umaga.
This is it, you scum! Get ready to die!
Yeah. Unlike most wrestlers who competed on the ritual to maintain harmony and respect, Brock Lesnar was known for his willingness to ignore the unspoken codes and then refuse to engage with the stupidity of it all. His exclusive treatment, including over the years, such as private locker room, private planes, and a flexible schedule, led some to view him as untouchable, creating tension among those who felt he was given special privileges. The Beast didn't care. He was given summons to appear and is reported to have given the deadpan no. Likely infuriating a lot of his colleagues, but not enough that any of them for them to force his hand.
Wait a minute.
Well, are you gonna go to Brock Lesnar and try and force him to do anything? I fucking wouldn't.
I mean, if I was Haku, yes. But I'd have to be Haku to do it.
Yeah.
Because, Haku's more likely going to pull his eye out or eat his face. And he probably can do it as well.
Oh, Toki's square combo is actually, like... Oh, as long as it's not interrupted. Toki's square combo actually goes on for quite a while.
Well, you know, wrestlers have never really been good with the legal system in general.
I'm actually having an easier time killing the grunts with Toki than I do with Kenshiro.
Well, Toki's moveset is a bit different, so he might have some... He might not be able to do the damage that he can do, but he can probably hit them a lot more. Plus, I think he's got a bit more when it comes to projectiles.
Yeah. I mean, Toki is, like, in many respects, Toki is actually stronger than Kenshiro. And
he is.
Yeah.
The problem is that Toki is too gentle to be considered, to be considered the
successor.
But also, if he'd actually not gotten sick, he probably could have.
Yeah.
But that was another thing.
This is it, you scum!
But Toki was considered a genius because originally the guy who took them in would only take one of them in, but Raoul proved himself on the cliff, Tekken style, by climbing back up. But he carried Toki, whose legs had been broken from the fall.
Right.
And that allowed them both to be taken in, but for a while, Toki was allowed to live there, but he wasn't trained.
Heaven and repent.
But he would sneak in and watch Raoul. Then one day, like, I think he had a dog and it was being attacked by some random guy, and Toki actually started using Hokuto Shinken, and as he was about to do a lethal blow, Ryuken came in and just stopped him, asked how he knew how to do any of that stuff, because he shouldn't know how to do it because he hasn't been training with them. And when he found out he'd learned it from actually watching them, he took Toki in as an apprentice as well, knowing full well, like, look, you know, if you become the successor, you may have to. If you become the successor, that means that Raoul can't be, and you might have to kill him, or, you know, seal his fists.
Yeah.
And he took on that responsibility, knowing that's what would happen. And then the same with Jagi and with Kenshiro. But they kind of, like, accepted, like, when Jagi went nuts about how Ken was chosen, Toki just accepted it as what it was. Raoul didn't, but Raoul just decided to leave Jagi to, you know, see what would fucking happen. And we saw what happened.
Strength,
His poor
summoning,
deformed
breathing
fate.
technique. Oh, I can just.
And I think we also had, like, an upgrade put on Toki, if I remember, that made every attack, regardless of whether it was an Ujukin attack, always do an Ujukin, regardless if it was just a punch.
Yeah.
The difference, by the way, is that Ujukin makes people feel pleasure before they die, for those who are curious.
Yeah.
Which is why you might hear them moaning whenever he kills them.
And well, he was using it to heal.
You want a piece of me? Do ya?
Who is this Zenyatta Onozoma's character? He just doesn't want them to die in pain. So that
again, that's another thing of Toki's whole, like, his kindness in general. He just doesn't like killing people unnecessarily.
And even when he does kill them, he doesn't want to hurt them. Before you die, you'll have the best orgasm of your life. That's not as reassuring as you think it is. Huh.
Yeah, that is literally what it is, though. That is very close to what Hokuto Ujukin actually is. It is just a form of Hokuto Shinken that he can do. Like, I don't even think Raoul can do it.
I don't think Raoul would do it if he could.
Well, no, because I think to him it's Toki's style specifically.
Yeah.
Because Rao is based purely around using the most destructive version of Hokuto Shinken. Whereas Ken is more about using the most effective parts, but he is capable of using everyone else's, because I think he's capable of Hokuto Uchuken as well. And he is capable of using Keno's techniques. Speaking of Keno, there he is, just standing there. As if he's waiting in a park for him.
Well, from his perspective, that's basically what he's doing.
Oh, that's dumb. Yeah, the Hokuto brothers are ours, kill them.
You might have had a chance if you started, well, you wouldn't have had a chance if you'd started when it was just Rao.
Well, that's the point. The whole reason they're even here is because they know that getting to, you know, Thouser needs to be dealt with. They are just dealing, they were there to just deal with the henchmen. Keep them out of Ken's way.
Yeah.
Because one of them would be enough, but Toki as well isn't exactly in the best of health. Which is another reason Raoul was there, because if Toki isn't capable, it like gets sick and he has a coughing fit, Raoul's more likely to protect him. Also, Raoul is still technically injured and recovering. So the two of them together are potentially lethal.
Yeah.
You know, one Hokuto Shinken user is bad enough. Two of them, my god, there's a twisted sense of poetry.
I mean, it's not like the presence of the henchmen would affect the outcome one way or the other. But, like, you know...
The disease haven't weakened your fists at all, I see. Quite impressive.
Gone off to find a bull to eat alive. The strength summoning breathing technique. To boost his attack power even more. Oh, holy shit, that does do some damage. Oh, I see.
down and will be rewarded handsomely. Kill him by any means necessary. Come on, come on. Don't be shy.
Or I could just float on over you. Kill him by any means necessary. Okay, I'll make him have enough.
Time to swing the momentum.
How you holding up there, dude? You good?
I'm good.
Oh, I already, like, just floated over them. They're not worth Toki's attention.
Ha!
Welcome to your graveyard.
Kenno too. Oh God,
Barely
we're done for.
constitute your attention. Yeah, they barely constitute your attention.
All in one place. How sweet. You'll be able to rest in peace together.
Toke koho. Hokuto, Ken Kon Ken. Hokuto, Ken Kon Ken.
There is a boss fight at the end of this level, isn't there?
I don't remember. Again, it's been years since I played.
Oh, didn't get to use his
Everyone
ultimate.
listen. Stay where you are. No one will interfere with this fight.
At least you'll know no pain. Rest in peace. Look upon heaven and repent.
Hold on. So, yeah, we got Raoul missions as well. We've missed a few of those, actually.
Maybe it'll be nice to spice things up a little.
We'll do... I mean, that's the duel between Toki and Raoul. We'll play as Raoul for that one, because he wins. Or, well, Toki loses, I think would be more accurate.
Well, that's a nice way of putting it. I mean, no one dies, but it's still a very emotional scene in the manga.
Yeah, but the next one is a Ken mission.
Well, yeah, you've got to deal with, you know,
are already dead.
post-apocalyptic Wesker.
Yeah.
Powerless to solve the riddle of Sowser's seeming invincibility, Kenshiro was defeated after being sealed away in the Holy Cross Mausoleum.
I'm trying the new
He was
blazing
eventually
fried
rescued,
chicken flavored
but
Pringles.
remained sapped of his strength.
They're okay.
Following Kenshiro's
Those
defeat,
barbecue Minecraft Doritos are pretty good.
the Holy Imperial Army stepped up its attacks against the Resistance,
The riddle of Sowser's
leading
body.
them to discover Shu's secret base of operations. Shu arranged for the immobile Kenshiro's escape and steeled himself
Toki, the
to
guy who
face the
never
army
struggles to find
and
the
Sowser
G-spot.
alone.
Yeah.
That's why he
Despite
knows
his valor,
Sowser's weak spot.
Shu was soon captured. And
Well,
as
he'd be
he
able
wept
to
from his
feel
unseeing
out
eyes,
what the problem
he
is. wouldn't he?
prayed.
Well, Ken finds it out in the, well,
Kenshiro,
most interesting of
only you
ways,
can
but we'll
defeat
see that.
Sowser and
Yeah.
bring light back to this
Ah,
war-torn
Shu.
land. Kenshiro,
It's a surprisingly
hear me
simple
now.
solution for immunity to pressure points.
Hear the desperate cries of a man with nowhere else to turn.
The clue, it's the reason why Ocelot couldn't really kill
Healing. Shu's helped Ken reach a new
Fortune
level.
to begin with.
No one's stopping him now.
Chapter 11. The Empire crumbles.
Any who stand in my way shall feel the fury of my fists. Shu
Yeah, a
needs me.
remake of a game like
He
this,
needs my help.
probably with some more up-to-date combat, and a story mode that switches between characters as the story demands, rather than having you do it, would be really good. We whiled away many fun hours on the Dream Mode co-op version of this game.
Oh God, did we ever? Well, Dream Mode had a lot more combat in it. That's the thing, because this is broken up by, you know, you travelling and, you know, platforming around in some cases.
Whereas the Dream Mode was much more of a standard Warriors game affair. No, my bike!
Now we'll have some fun!
What fun do you think you're going to have?
Do you think he listens to Queen after he kills people?
Maybe. He definitely does before.
Yeah. Yeah, listens to Queen before he goes out and kills people.
And then he listens to Queen. That was a David Firth animation, wasn't it?
It was a Jerry Jackson thing.
You're going nowhere!
I may have a burnt face, but
That doesn't mean I fight crime. Take that crime, you shit.
Take them all out!
Of course, that wasn't really crime. That was just a box with crime written on it.
Seriously, crime is a shit that needs wiping up. Well, it isn't all these old minions, man, spider and bastard, man. Yeah, I remember watching it once, and the history teacher kept laughing at the fact that he has his base is called Super Death Base Turbo.
Not even swords can damage this one! Your fists will be shattered to pieces!
Through the box, Jake. That is not from anything. I just think it's funny to say something and then add someone's name on, so it sounds like it's from something.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't tell me not to take drugs, Carol. See? Not even from anything. I just added Carol to the end of something. Excellent. Those 5 calories will fuel my murderous rampage.
What the?
Life is a privilege, and you don't deserve it.
You want to force your way past? Fine by me.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. Oh.
Are you serious, Richter? Acting so wooden you can pierce my heart with it. I don't get what you're so upset about, Dracula. I was a fucking Juilliard, Richter.
Take them all out!
Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that.
Senretsusho!
You're already dead.
Okay, that door hasn't opened yet, but... Oh, that's because there's more people to...
More people to murder!
You needed that help more than I did. Clean up complete. Oh, you never meant to kill. You only meant to seriously kill.
What did we ever do to deserve him?
Tearing apart!
Huh.
There has to be some way to open the door. We have to go tell the men of Hulktong. If we don't, Master Shu will be at Saozer's mercy.
You're going nowhere. My orders are to leave no one alive.
Kill them all.
can mess with us.
Undercrack Fist of the North Star. Oh god, remember that live action model symbol?
Yeah. The one with Malcolm McDowell in it.
Yeah.
He's in so much Drek.
Look, never underestimate the power of a toffee crisp. Toffee crisp and half a packet of curly worms.
A gig's a gig. I think that must just be how he sees it. Because, you know, he's a respected actor. He's had a prolific career.
I mean, at this point, work is work.
Yeah.
Wanna die, Pop? Wanna die? Don't do this to me.
You know I don't. I'm literally fighting for my life right now.
Die, punks!
Hell isn't punishment for the likes of you.
I didn't want you to throw that second kick.
Kill anything
Sweep
that
a leg.
You've saved us. I don't know what we would have done without you.
At this point, they're just walking into it.
Yep.
The tears of the Star of Benevolence call to Hokuto.
Kill anything that moves!
Now you are the dead.
Yeah.
If we wish to fight back, now is our chance! Time to swing the momentum!
You think you can just come wandering in here? Grind him into dust!
I go where I please.
If we wish to
Please,
fight
where
back,
I go.
now is our chance!
Right, that's it.
That's it, killing you all.
This is it, you scum! Get ready to die!
Ah, yes, and then there were 4.
Please! Please! No!
Oh, floor chicken. Oh, it gives you full refills on health and spirit. There is a boss fight upcoming. That is what is known as gore shadowing.
Stay where you are. I must put this final piece in place. This piece represents the lives of 100 men. And my failure to stop the disorder within the Nanto ranks.
Try and imagine a scene with no, with no text or with nothing on. Like, just no context whatsoever. 'Cause then you can tell me this is just an old man trying to get his work done. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
shot off arrows. And out of nowhere, this blonde then throws a spear.
Oh, we're coming up on the 4-hour mark.
Kind of perfect timing once you finish this boss.
Yeah.
You will pay for what you have done. Your reign is over. This staircase is Shu's pain. Feel it in every single step that you take.
Love only leads to suffering. Love leads to sorrow and pain. I was an orphan and was taken in by Ogar, master of Nanto Ho'oken. He was childless and raised me like his own son. Then, when I turned 15, I underwent a final test, in which I had to fight blindfolded. I fought that day, and killed him. My master, Ogar. From that day, I have not loved. An emperor has no need for love! Now is the hour. The Nanto and the Hokuto must decide a victory. It looks like you'll beat your brothers to the grave after all.
I mean, even if I can't kill you, I can make your life mightily unpleasant.
Even the heavens know this will be a clash of the fates.
Hokuto, Shichi Satan. Tenha Kasatsu.
The skies belong to me! There is only one polar star, and it burns in the Southern Cross.
Ha! He uses a shadow clothes.
Out of my sight!
Hokuto, Yokuretsuken.
Out of my sight! only one bright star to lead it. Good luck pressing my vital points now. Time to die. You can take your love with you. I know every move you're going to make.
There we are.
Playtime is over. Die, Kenshiro!
Do not try to match my style.
Nice try. Die, Kenshiro!
Hey, somehow he's walking up the stairs, even though he was up here in the room already.
You pressed my vital point?
The beating of your heart showed me the answer.
What are you talking about?
Your heart is on the right. Therefore, all your vital points are reversed.
Ah,
Your
he
secret
popped
will
my
protect you
pimple.
no more.
You will pay dearly for defacing the body of the Holy Emperor.
Displacing the body, detriments were involved. Okay.
Oh, Ollie.
That was Seb, actually.
Oh.
Alright, time to end the fight.
Pride is all seen now, you pencil neck geek.
You're already dead.
I have been stripped bare, and my wings have been clipped.
Why is that a matter for laughing?
No retreat. No surrender. No looking back. The Emperor will not flee!
Never give up, never surrender.
You bastard. You would use that move on me? You wish even my death to be filled with compassion. Love and emotion lead only to sorrow.
Bastard.
So
Wish
why?
even my death to be
Why
filled with
would you want to
compassion.
feel such
How
pain
dare
and
you!
sadness?
I'd rather you spit on me.
Sometimes you will come to
Love
death.
brings more than just that.
Ugh.
Even you must remember the feeling of comfort.
The true successor to
I want to
Hokuto
fill you
Shinken.
with pain.
He was too great a man for me.
Comfort? I wear cheese grater underwear, you dick.
comfort me.
Just once more.
All right. And with that, we're at 3 hours 56. I think that's a good time to leave this off for until next week. We've got 3 more Kenshiro missions.
Well, we're in the final arc, really. Once Bowser's gone, that's when Raoul starts everything up again.
Oh, there was one more Toki mission.
Yep.
So we got 4 missions to go. Yeah, it should be a shorter one next week.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this stream. If you miss us, we will be back on Monday for Mafia Monday. And we will be on twitch.tv/eclectichawk. Along with my Assassin Sunday co-host for tomorrow, Dan, for a brand new D&D campaign where I'm playing a Minotaur pro wrestler and Moira here is playing a Herringham.
Don't forget Tomberry Tuesday.
And also Tomberry Tuesday earlier that day where we will be, dare I say, finishing Final Fantasy? No, we're doing side quests and then finishing Final Fantasy VI. Do you think we can do that in 4 hours?
I think we can do some of the get the side questing done at the very least.
Yeah.
Because we're about to have the event, and then we're going to have like the New World stuff, which the New World stuff is a very short jaunt to get back at least 4 characters. Then the rest is up to whether or not you want to take on the final dungeon or get everybody back. And all of the like extra stuff.
Yeah. And then the following day, I will be back with Dan Murgatroyd for Tomb Raider, where we'll be continuing talking about Sherlock Holmes for as many stories as I can keep us going through within a reasonable time frame. So yeah. Although there won't be a Fist of the North Star stream next week because I've just remembered I won't be here. I'm going away, I'm not dying. So we will return to this in 2 weeks' time. After I have returned from a convention I'm going to. Where Johnny Joeli is going to be there, the singer from Crush 40, I think. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Seb, I'll see you in Nottingham in a week from now. And, yeah. See everyone. We don't really have